Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Welcome. This is the Jeranism show.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is the Speaker's Corner, where we speak truth, see truth. Speaker's Corner, yeah, they see through, we see you. Speaker's Corner, where the people get to talk, where real ideas and thoughts spark. This is all on the Speaker's Corner. 3 minutes hit the spotlight. Speaker's Corner, where 3 minutes gets your mind right. Speaker's Corner, where the people get to talk, where real ideas and thoughts spark. This is all on the Speaker's Corner.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Speaker's Corner. I'm your most amazing host. If I have to tell you that, you probably don't know the show. Welcome, everybody. We are on to episode number 33. Uh-oh. Where's RV when you need him? Episode number 33. What does that mean? Is it demonic? Is it Masonic? All those things. It's both. Let's get rolling. We are on to episode 33. It is Speaker's Corner. It's your chance to get on the air and give us some impressive knowledge or some lackluster. Really comes down to what you call it. We're going to do something special today, though. We're going to write down each caller. We're going to give them a little number. And I'm going to give away a trip to the... It's not really a trip. You have to stay home and do it. But it's going to be a pass to the Summit coming up on March 17th and 18th. If you haven't got your ticket yet, you might be in luck. You may be getting yours today. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to give each person who calls in like a number. So number one will be whoever's first, number two. And at the end, you guys can vote for who was the best call. So and let's try and vote for the best call, not the worst, all right? So it encourages people to call in with good quality information, not nonsense. Nonsense is what we usually get. All right, let's bring it over here. And yes, there we go. Boom. Welcome, everybody. This is Speaker's Corner. Why is that up there? Oh, boy. Just get this thing fixed here. That's not bad. That works. Oops. Hold on. I got my things out of order here. There we go. That's better. We good now? Yes, we just need we're missing the Rokfin chat. Thank you for showing me that. Hello, everybody. Rokfin. Who do we got over there? We got Benny Boy in the house. We've got FE Nation in the house. Let me get that link. Copy. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that. We are one thing behind. And I think we're good after that. We've got, yes. Okay. So we've got a fun show for you today. If you missed, or if you don't know the schedule yet, tomorrow I'll be back again at 3 o'clock for the Jeranism show, which is my favorite of all the shows because, well, it's my show. And it's just me getting to talk a lot, which I enjoy. So we're going to go over here and add the Rokfin chat. There we go. Browser process. There we go. All right. So now we should get the Rokfin chat on the screen and we should be ready to go. Let's see. And let's see who's over at YouTube. Is there anybody cool? Doubt it. I'm just kidding. Nostradamus in the house. Good. We got these things coming up. We've got, no, I'm not snowed in. What are you talking to me? I love propaganda. It's good stuff. We do not consent. We do not. Oh, it's showing up over there. I see. And yeah, it's 33. Unbelievable, huh? If you notice, I started 3 minutes late on purpose. It's fun. I want to get as many threes in as possible. By the way, you know how long you have when you call in? 3 minutes. And it's actually not 3 minutes. It's actually 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, 33s. They're everywhere. The Masons are going to get us. They're gonna come get us. Oh my god, squirt boys. All right, let's oh wait. Now why don't I see the chat here for Rokfin? Did I not put it in? I thought I just put it in. Let's try this again. What did I do wrong? Rokfin, pop out chat, URL. Thank you. Why isn't it showing up on the screen? I do see chats in there. Hello, 3B Big Buddy Bob. Love you, brother. Have a great show. Thank you. Let me see why you guys aren't showing up on the chat. That's peculiar. Peculiar indeed. I saw something interesting yesterday. You want to see it? Very kind of surreal. I don't know. For somebody like me, too, who has actually claimed that these things will never come to fruition, now I'm like, oh, shit, do I need to change my opinion on this? And the answer is probably yes. So I went to San Francisco yesterday to see my sister, and we're driving around. And what do you think I saw? I don't want to add to shared album. So you can find this. What do you think I saw in San Francisco? Well, I saw a Waymo. A Waymo. Have you ever seen one of these things? Let me show you. Let me bring it up here. Okay, that's fine. I saw a Waymo. There we go. Now we got the chat working. Let me show it to you. I have to bring it up here. As soon as I saw it, oh my goodness, I cannot believe what? Give it a second. iCloud's not doing things as fast as it should be. And I also wanted to point something else out, just because whenever I report bad info, I want to make sure I let people know that I'm not doing that by any means on purpose. It was a mistake. And now we've got this problem where you can't believe anything anymore. You guys remember me showing this? I think I've shown it 2 or 3 times. And it is not real. So what the powers that be or whoever's doing this is causing more is just hate, right? Because when you have something like this and you're like, oh, I cannot believe this lady's real, and you're like pissed, and they manufacture that hate inside you. So really trying to shed that. I just now realize that when something's just over the top ridiculous, that I should just take it at what it's worth, which is over the top ridiculous, and move on. No use in even sharing it, really, because again, now there's people out there on the right who are making fake accounts for people on the left, and people on the left being fake on the right, and they're all trying to show this, look how crazy you two are, and all it does is just bring division. So this is, by the way, not real. So if you've heard this one before where she's talking about what she does with her 4th grade class or something.
Hi, Miss Luna, activist teacher here again, and I just wanted to share with you guys about...
So I'm sure you've seen it. I'm not going to play it because it's fake. So no use in playing that. Let me bring it back and see if I can get my other video up here. Let's see here. You can look at me for a second. How lucky. Does that look weird? Yeah, a little bit. That's all right. I'm always looking weird. What are you going to do? Let's see here. You can't change your appearance. I tried. They don't let you. God does not answer those prayers. What did I just do? I just said share to add to shared album. Yes. Go. It's not that long a video. Let's move it here. Let's move it on up. Move it on up. Did you like the name of this show? What was it again that I called it? Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Remember that song? That's back in the days when music was good. Hit me with your best shot. I don't have that song either, I don't think. Do I? Probably not. No. I've got a lot of songs, but not that one. Should we give... Yes, there we go. All right, let's see if this is up now. Come on. What's going on here? Am I tripping? Not getting... Oh, there we go. Phew, I was going to say what's going on. All right, so here we go. This is what I saw yesterday, and it was quite peculiar, but I guess they're coming. I guess there's no other way to look at it. They are coming. That in front of my sister's car is a Waymo. A Waymo. It also resembles the International Space Station, and then it's got spinning shit all over it.
It's my first time ever seeing a self-driving car, a Waymo. A Waymo. What is this thing spinning on the back? It's like... Holy shit, what is that thing? That's hilarious. They think it's the International Space Station, I guess.
Funny thing is, my sister has to honk at it right here because the fucking thing don't move. Go, let's move it. We don't got time waiting behind you all day. Jesus. But this is kind of trippy. When you're watching this fucking thing drive around, you're like,
drive by us.
Oh, man.
Look at this thing. There's nobody in this fucking car. can't believe this thing exists. What world are we living in?
Can you believe it? Can you believe that they exist? And they are basically taxis in San Francisco. They only are in San Francisco. And but the reason I have to change my opinion of this thing is because San Francisco is a bitch to drive in. It is one of the worst cities, like 8-way stops, and just, if this car can drive that, then it's probably coming. So just, it'll be here. There is somebody in the back seat we saw after, but he is being taxied. That's what they do in San Francisco. And
there's nobody.
At first I was like, tell my sister, I bet he's driving it.
There's a guy in the back doing analytics.
Oh, there's a guy in the back. He's got to be steering it. No?
No?
There's a midget in there. Or
I looked it up, and actually they say
child.
no, that you can already book them in San Francisco and Phoenix.
You gotta be kidding me.
So I don't know. I don't know how my feeling. Of course, I don't like the idea, but as far as before, I said, they'll never be around because you got, humans make better decisions, things like that. Well, then I started to really think about it. I'm like, if this thing can drive in San Francisco, like, I hate driving in San Francisco because I never know what the hell's going on. Like, is it my turn? Am I supposed to turn at that third angled left turn there? And then I start thinking, well, maybe one of those driverless cars would be better. I could just sit there and let that thing drive me around San Francisco. But again, we know the problem with those and what's coming. And that'll be that they can take you wherever they want, turn you off whenever they want. You ain't going to escape anybody if you're driving in a Waymo. Now, why does it have the spinny things? I don't know. Anybody? What's with the spinny things? They took after the ISS and said, we got to add a spinning thing. Like, what is this thing doing?
Self-driving car, a Waymo.
What is this?
Whammo. What is this thing spinning on the back? It's like, holy shit, what is that thing?
Oh, crazy. I didn't see till right now that it's a Jaguar. I didn't even notice that. I thought this was the brand name of the car.
That's hilarious. They think it's the international.
What is this thing doing? What could this possibly be helping it with?
Go.
How come it doesn't go when the car in front of it pulled away fucking already? Look at how far it is. Look at this gap. Look at this gap between that car and
we saw it drive by us in front.
Anyway, my sister said she's got a couple of friends that have seen it and they all try and fuck with it. So that's funny. They all try and like steer into it so it has to get out of the way. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. All right, let's get to the show. We are, oh wait, let me show you one other thing first. Because I did mention the summit coming quite soon. And where we got Thames.live, TEMMS.live, TEMMS.live. Go there and you can get ready to attend the True Earth Equinox Summit. This is the perfect summit to help you reach a state of equilibrium. And you can look at all the presenters and the speakers and all that stuff. We've gone over this. Check out that page for all your speakers and presenters that will be there. And then head up here and hit buy a ticket. That's going to take you over to the ticket shop where you've got 6 options. This is for the Equinox Summit. You can either get general admission or VIP. Then there's also yearly and lifetime passes for all the summits, courses. We're going to have debates, and it's all going to be at home on one site. I'll show you that in a second. But let's say you want the general admission. You just come in here, click buy now. You get your choice: cryptocurrencies, credit, debit card, PayPal, banks, Cash App. Super simple, lots of different payment methods. Let's go with credit card. Click continue. And then the only thing you need to worry about is this little choose box here. It's a drop-down menu that's got all of your possible support. Who do you want to support with your payment? So everybody's in here, and including, I think, Karen B is going to be helping us sell tickets maybe, and SGT reports. There's some people that aren't actually speakers that you might see in this list. But all the speakers are here. So feel free if you want Brother Sanchez, select from there. Whatever. Dustin Emos, boom. Hibbler, boom. So anyway, that's how you pick who's going to be supported. And then just fill us out, hit pay. You're going to go through the credit card process. And then it's going to take you to the fantastic site that is trueearther.com. Let's go ahead and put it in myself. Trueearther.com. So when you make your purchase, you're going to get a link. And that link will take you here. It'll take you to a sign-up page that already has pre-selected your whatever you did, VIP or general admission, and you're just going to put your username and password, and then you now have your site at True Earther, and that's where all summits will take place in the future. That's where all the archives will be. Once you signed up, and anybody can do this for free right now. If you don't want to go to the summit, but you're like, I do want to watch Mount Meru, which was our last one, you can come here, sign up, hit register, which will be up here. Register for free, and then you can get this one too. Register for free. There you go. But when you register for free, I'm already signed in, so You'll have some options. You can go to audio, and right now you can listen to day 1 or day 2 of Mount Meru, 7 hours, 46 minutes, or 9 hours and 53 minutes. That's from the last summit. You can hit video, and you can get Mount Meru day 1 or day 2. So you want day 2, go there. And then we've got all the presentations laid out for you for day 2. So if you just want to watch Owen Benjamin, you click there, and that is free and ready to go.
The Big Bear
for anybody.
himself is in the house.
So just turn that on, and you got that ready to go.
About the Truther vibe, and
so that's basically what's there now. You can hit extras, and you're going to have right now your virtual gift bag for the VIPs and your virtual gift bag for the general admission are starting to be entered. We have coupons and all kinds of stuff that we've got to enter in there. No use in really going there early if you don't want to. You might as well wait till the summit, and then it will be packed. So by summit day, all these will be packed, and then there'll be another link for VIP Zoom link. So if you're a VIP member, you can go to the Zoom. So what will eventually happen is you'll go to video, and you're going to have, video. You're going to have Mount Meru, you're going to have Equinox, you're going to have Solstice, and then you're going to have each year and what day. And then as we further on this list will be courses, as Austin and I are going to be building little 5-minute courses, things like that. You can also have, we're also going to have debates. So it'll just, be debates, and there'll be like these Friday night debate shows that we do where there may be 1 or 2 debates. And all that is included in the price of the yearly and the forever price. And then the app is coming soon. It's been submitted. So the app will be on, of course, Android. It will be, of course, also on the iStore or the Apple Store. It is a beautiful app. It's going to have exactly what you see here. There's going to be no difference. It's basically a mirror of this website. So you're going to have your audio, your video, but it's got in-app player. So you'll be able to listen to the podcast like it's a podcast player. You'll be able to do video. Great. You can rewind, fast forward, play late, play it while your phone is closed. So all that was important. We got all that taken care of. And that's coming as soon as we get approved. So I can't guarantee it'll be ready by this summit, but by the next one for sure. Apple kind of lags on that. So we're on our way doing that, and hopefully you guys attend and support that avenue as we want to just kind of build this to be an ultimate kind of learning True Earther site where there's nothing but summits and debates and courses and trainings, and you can get it all for a very, very low price. Also, if you don't want the summits, but you just want the courses and debates and all that stuff, there'll be a separate package for that. We don't have it yet because, well, maybe if we go pricing, it's on here. Oh, there you go. So as far as the pricing goes, you have lifetime VIP annual, and then this summit, and then there's general admission annual, and then this summit. And then we've got a mini membership, which is monthly or yearly full access to all courses and debates, includes all summits past 1 month old. So basically after the True Earth Summit has been a month old, it will go into the archives, which of course, if you bought it here, you get it the whole time, forever. But if you have just this package, then you get all the $8 a month, $55 yearly, but you get all the courses, all the debates, all the summits past 1 month old. And then after they're about 6 months old, they'll probably be free, just like Mount Meru is. Maybe, we think it's going to be about 6 months. Or maybe after 2 more summits. So for example, if we had Equinox and Solstice, then Mount Meru becomes free. As soon as we have Mount Meru and Equinox, Mount Meru and Solstice, then Equinox would come free. So on and so forth. Anyway, we're working on that. All right, let's get to the show, shall we? You're like, Jaron, yes, it's been long enough. It's fucking 4 p.m. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. It's not that. Stop believing people. All right, let's get going, shall we? Let me turn this off over here so we have nobody on the screen. Where's Claire? Good. We're ready? I think we're ready. If you join and become a member, which would be very cool of you, you get to watch one of the greatest things probably in the history of the world, which is Brock Lesnar coming out. It's time for pain. And then he comes out and he just smacked him in the head and they killed him. Oh, it's Buzz Aldrin. He's been killed. All right, sorry. I'm a little bit hyped up about that, but let's get going, shall we? We shall. See what we got. You got to join the show. It's easy. You go to this place. Boom. Can we get that on the screen? Oh, nice. tinyurl.com/cornerism. And it actually looks better with a dark background. I got to worry about that. Let's go with number 1. So this is if you're keeping track at home, because you're going to be voting at the end, I'm just going to ask you to put in the numbers of the best call, and I'm hoping that it's not close, so I don't have to actually count. But we've got Party Poet in the house. Party Poet, you are number 1. How about that? Have you ever been told that in your life? I doubt it.
Actually, I have.
Wow, nice. All right. Well, I stand corrected. Party Poet is number 1 then. He's been told that before, which it makes it official.
Actually, I was hoping to tell you that, or hoping if you know that all the investigation team for the Ohio disaster, the entire plane blew up on landing. So now there's no investigation.
Wait, did it really?
Yeah, you can look up.
When did this just happen today?
No, this happened actually last week. Tim for Truth, it would still be in the top 10 of his shows.
I did not know that. Okay, I'll check into it.
On his shows, and it'll show investigation team dropped dead in the airplane. Or the plane blew up. Investigation plane crashes. It'd be some sort of line like that.
Wow.
And I was wondering, do you know a free way to check your credit report?
I think that there's like freecreditreport.com or something, isn't there?
I don't know. This is all new to me.
Yeah, I believe so. But why do you want a good credit score? You should not want a good credit score. The higher your credit score, the more you're saying I'm a putz.
Well, see, in the land of going to get a credit card and getting more credit, you want a better credit score. So, but it turns out that in order to improve your credit score, all you got to do is find out all the people you owe the money to or on that is bad on your credit report, and then write to actually the credit report agency. I got it all written down who you're supposed to write to, and then basically tell them I don't owe these people any money. This is BS, and they take off your credit report. All you got to do is just say this here where it says I owe these people money, that's BS, and they take it off. Boom. It's just that easy to clean it up, apparently. And I was wondering if Maverick still says car, or if that's gone by now.
No, he says the one thing about him is, but I guess I've been talking to some people, and it's not abnormal, but he's not really conversating as much as he knows the alphabet, he knows numbers, he knows colors, he knows words, but as far as like putting them together into like, but I guess he's only 2.5, so around 3 is when they say they should be able to put some sentences together, start having more of a conversation.
Yeah, that's about it. And if you wanted, I got a really good my step 3 for drinking poem.
Sorry?
If you want to hear it. I have a step 3 drinking poem. Or my step 3 for drinking is a poem.
Okay.
And I was hoping to tell it on your show.
Sure, go ahead. I forgot to start your clock. I got to start your clock. Go ahead.
It's 3/4 of a page print.
Well, as long as you have 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it goes like this. I'm off work. I'm all stressed out. I know how the bottle helps me mellow out. It takes away the aches and pains. The boss who says the market's going down the drain. The woman who would not submit to my stupidity and says that she's finally leaving me. Or the family that I no longer wish to see. I take a swig or maybe 2, then grab a glass and have a few. If I was a prophet, I could see how the bottle helps me deal with my reality by bringing me 100 more, and each less complicated than the one in store, from buying bottles in the store to selling off my furniture for more, to when the shakes finally appear, and by then life loses forward gears. My life, by now 3/4 of the bottle disappears. My thoughts start to grow pointy ears. My eyes lose sight of reality. They only choose to see a fantasy that's filled with love, happiness, and definitely prosperity. My eyes believe this to be true, as long as I don't forget to drink my brew. My legs now take me to where I want to be, because everybody here sees life just like me. And since nobody wants to be a part of the minority, if everyone buys a drink here, then that's for me. Some here will even help me deal with my present misery, or I'll find girls who'll tolerate my personality, as long as the brew for them is free. Soon, the deuce is almost on the wall. It's time to celebrate last call, the last joyous occasion of the night, before I have to see my bed in fright. Eventually, it's the only piece of furniture left around, since no one buys what one has dumped but I have found. Next, the clock hits 6, my head the ceiling. With every ring, I try to figure out where I was and what it was all about, then slam the clock across the empty room and stare in silence at my gloom, brought on by my arch foe sobriety, because this definitely is not the way to be. Thank God there's still a quarter of the bottle left for me. I now dread to work in reality. My boss says, try harder, it would come. I smile at the wretched scum who's interrupting time with my precious rum. Back at the bar, now that's for me. Bar stands for be on a roll. Now that doesn't sound so dull. Oh, I'm sorry, that spells bore, but my life is so much better than it was before. My life is so much more carefree now that my wife and family abandoned me, and I have much less responsibility to interrupt my drinking days now that the job is nothing but a distant haze. Eventually UI runs out, and welfare is nothing but a 4-week drought. But I won't ditch my old-time friend. The bottle's on where I will defend. Ah, but how could it be all my friends back at the bar abandoned me now that I have such a simple philosophy? The bottle is the only thing in life for me. I'd rather die now than face sobriety. And the time it takes to go from thick to thin depends only on the rut you're in, because if the rut turns into a race, my simple philosophy will be a resting place. Step 3. Ta-da.
Wow, it is well done. I don't know how true to your beliefs that is.
Well, it's true to my beliefs. It's my true story.
So your only solace now is the bottle? That's just what your best friend is, the bottle?
Actually, 22 years ago, it was my solace.
Okay. All right. Have you done quit now?
Well, I quit booze and converted to being a pothead.
Well, that's all right. It's much better. It's much better.
I agree.
Okay.
100%.
Good. All right.
No
Well,
blackouts, and it's way cheaper.
yes. Thank you very much for that, Party Poet. You are number 1. Let's see if you get voted to go to the summit for free. Have a good one. Let's go with Sacred Knowledge, number 2. Have you ever been called number 2 before? Probably.
Yes, many times.
Beta. They call you Beta. All right. We're starting your clock. I'm going to try and keep the clock true today. We've got a lot of people behind you. So let it begin. Go.
That guy, he did a smart thing. It's way better to be a pothead than an alcoholic, man.
Yes, indeed.
Alcohol is like on the level with heroin and cocaine. It's not weed though. You know what I mean?
It's a poison. Absolutely.
It'll kill you. But how you doing today?
Fantastic. No complaints.
All right. Sick. I don't have a lot of time, so I didn't know if I should talk about some, or I want to do another song if I can.
You could do that. You have to go. You got 3 minutes still.
Do that, then talk about stuff, because there's some stuff I've been wanting to talk to you about, but let me do a song, because a musical break is always good.
And remember, if you call in and you're wearing my hat, you get 6 minutes. Forgot to mention that.
Right. I need to get your hat.
You do.
Let's see here. I think I'll do this one. This one is called Pan.
Okay.
We always talk about the pan. I talk about it, so I made a song. Hold on a second. But it's not really about that. It talks about it. Check it out.
Okay, I'll cut you off when your music's done playing. Go ahead.
It's a short song.
Okay, we're ready.
Just wait for it. Here you go. Sorry, hold on. Damn it. All right, here goes. Can you hear the beat?
Yep. We're all good.
All right. Pan. And at first I didn't care about winning, but I do want to check out that summit. Yo. I'm a lizard, chop my head off and I grow back a body. Write some lyrics, grab the microphone and go bag a body. Go tag a body, then go ask the party. If you don't know, better go ask somebody. Thought it, but I doubt it. If you bout it, route it. My direction, my intention, keep it on the fresh tip. Invest it, the time in impeccable. All these rappers see my flow is detestable. That's okay though, you're just Play-Doh. I shape you and I mold you, don't you ever play though. God like, not like, type it used to. Intellectual music you can still get used to. Peter Pan in a panic, pandemic panorama. It's pandemonium in Pandora's box. Peter Pan in a panic, pandemic panorama. It's pandemonium in Pandora's box. I'm sorrow, a hero, your sorrow, a zero, unique error. I'm the ruler of an era. Forest area code, I could bury a bow. MC young or old, MC tongue ago. Synthesize, pop, hip, fuck they censorship. Level down your whole town once your sector's hit. Nothing be left legit. Unaffected flip. I'm the deficit that these lyricists hit. Rock bottom, top to bottom, you just top and bottom. You can't talk about him if you got him in your mouth. Head down south. Matter of fact, don't forget to turn it out. B50 fun. Drink your blood like English rum. You're not dumb, better run. Zombies ain't for fun. Peter Pan in a panic pandemic panorama. It's pandemonium in Pandora's box. Peter Pan in a panic pandemic panorama. It's pandemonium in Pandora's box.
Word. I will say you had a better chance of winning with last week's song, but that's just me. It's subjective.
I messed up a little bit. Sorry. I didn't know it that good. Plus, I did a dab.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, brother. Good looking out.
3B Big Buddy Bob wants to know, do I have to learn to rap if I start smoking weed? Break it down, yo. You should. It just comes with the flow. You start hearing beats in your head and you just start, being a lyricist.
Get some creative juices flowing and stuff,
Yes, exactly. See, he knows. All right. You are dismissed, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go with next. We've got Hank. I like the name Hank. Oh, now
hey, Jaron, what up?
What up? How are you?
How you doing?
Oh, as good as can be expected. Trying to.
All right. I like it. We got a little song and dance. I'm gonna rap for you guys too.
Wow. So I like the now this is not going to be Speaker's Corner. I'm going to have to rename it Rapper's Corner.
Freestyle Corner.
Yeah, there you go. And we had a poet first section. So maybe a couple girls will come on and give us some vagina monologues. Should be fun.
There you go.
Let me check. I want to see if I can get these names up there. Oops. Why does it only show one? Oh, I see. It's not going to list them all. It's going to have to go back and forth like that. I don't want to do that.
Is my mic good? Because I'm hearing you. I'm in the studio, but I have it playing.
Do you also have the show open on YouTube?
I do, but that's muted.
No, it should be fine.
So you're not getting any feedback right now?
No, you sound great.
Oh, okay, great. All right. So I have maybe 3 topics I wanna kind of run by you. Quick question. If we click your ads, do you make any money?
No. Well, not really, because
everybody just click it.
Yeah, no, usually because I am not monetized when, but then what they'll do is, like, let's say I have a music in mind, then they'll monetize it and then they'll give it to the original person. So the only ones that are the ads that might pay me are the ones on my clips.
Oh, gotcha.
Because we take the clips out.
Every time I join the show, I just click the ad and then I just exit out.
Hey, it's still a nice thing of you to do. If I would appreciate that, but I'm not positive. And it's, because if you are doing a makeup channel or tutorial and you've got makeup ads on the bottom, chances are many people will click that. But when you're a conspiracy theorist, nobody clicks the ads anyway.
Gotcha.
You ready to start?
Yeah, I've been ready. We're kind of going already.
Here you go. Here's your clock. Go.
All right, let's go. Here's an idea. You know how Alex Stein did culture jamming, but he did it in the political realm? Why don't we do like a NASA fanboy culture jam where you get people to go to these council meetings and we kind of culture jam space? Like, we need a moon base now.
We should have a moon base, right?
Like, I don't know. I think it'd be a good idea to bring attention to this. Like how Stein did it on the left side. Just do it and we become fanboys, NASA fanboys, and we go to city council meetings.
It's a good idea. See if anybody else agrees with you, but yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think I could get some eyes on this. True Earther shirts, you gonna have those?
We have not talked about it, but yes, we kind of have talked about it having like a merchandise shop. We've just been busy with everything else, but yes, it'll come eventually.
It'd be cool if you did a True Earther shirt, maybe with each kind of schedule, like whatever. Spring, fall, whatever the season it falls in, and then you have each name and then trueearther.com on the top or something like that.
It's a good idea.
Cool.
Okay.
That's just a little feedback for you.
Thank you.
And maybe how about if your Rokfin subscribers buy a ticket to the Earth Summit, maybe they can, get a shirt or something. I don't know. I'm a Rokfin subscriber, by the way.
Nice, thank you. What do you think of the idea of the app and all that, and the site?
I like the app. I think, yeah, you know, it could work. I think you got to add a little more function to it, you know, because essentially you can go on websites and look at things. It's kind of similar, but I think if
True.
you make it a hub, I get what you're doing. You're kind of detaching yourself from the platforms like YouTube and Rokfin and these big guys that can kick you out whenever they want. And trying to create a little hub. So I think it's a good idea overall. I think.
Well, and so we want to keep that knowledge together, right? So not like, because then you have all these different summits, but where do I find it? How do I find the replays? They're all over. Some of them been disappeared. So this way, they can always be found, and they're always available, and we're not hiding any information from people because within a matter of 6 months, it'll all be free anyway.
Yeah. No,
so
I
we'll
like
see how
it,
it goes.
and I think it's a good spot. You got to put everything together and kind of package it together and have a one spot for everything, and you own it. It's not like on YouTube and they can take it off, you know.
Right.
And then I have a bet. If you want to do another bet, I don't know how your moon bet is going. The Space Hotel is going to come out in 2025.
Where does it say that?
I don't know. Go type in Space Hotel 2025.
They always say that. I mean, it's
I know.
stupid.
So there you have another bet.
Space Hotel could open as soon as 2025. This is the problem with these people, is that how can you call yourself an actual journalist if you're ever going to say that? Like, don't you realize how things would have to go down? Like, they just could open in 2025. No, don't write that article. It's a lie.
You know, it's part of the propaganda.
Of course.
You know, they're paid shows. But that's my time. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks. That was wait, what number are you? Hank. Hank was number 3.
Number 3.
Thanks,
Vote
Hank.
for me.
Vote for Hank.
Later, guys.
Hank in 2023. All right, later. Let's go with John. I'll be right with you 1 second. Oh, I remember John. John O is awesome. He used to come on Raw a few times, but I want to fix something real quick before I forget. Okay, there we go. Ba-da-da-da-bing. All right, let's go with Johnny O Astrology. Johnny O.
What's up, Jaron?
How are you?
I'm doing great, brother.
Good. Nice to hear from you. How you been?
I've been pretty good.
No complaints?
No complaints.
All right.
Yeah, I got a bunch of flat Earth buddies around me now.
Nice. All right. How'd you meet them? Through the app or?
No, through my own interactions, Jaron.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Most people can't say that.
I know, but I've from the beginning been doing that, and but in the beginning it was more with like close friends, and they're like around the the states, so it's not like centralized. But as time's been going on, I had some different men here where I live in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, where I found some common ground to get together for kind of just a men's meeting, and we've kept that like kind of separate from political affairs, but within it we've made relationships with different people that have come out, and then some of those things we have little side fellowships and such. So I've been able to gather quite a few people.
Nice. Well, congratulations. Some people have trouble doing that. So congratulations.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much you remember from our previous conversations, but I definitely have been in the business of talking to people since I was very young. So and also very challenging speech is kind of my speciality. So I'm learning now, like, it's amazing to be a flat earther, so-called, for so long, and you get so calm about it, right? And it's amazing the power of calm.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because it's just I no longer am offended at anything, and I really wasn't offended at the beginning either, but it's like it's not just your mind that's not offended, but your whole being, right? Because in the beginning there's so much that you feel like is against you, but then you just realize it's against all of them. It's not against us at all. They're the ones feeling this horrible pressure, and we just need to realize that they're living a lie. You know, they're pretending, and we're not.
Right. I sleep great.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I sleep just great. All right, I started your clock a little while ago, so go ahead with it. Whatever you want to bring today.
Okay, great. Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to call about the movement of the stars and differentiating the stars that are fixed from the stars that are free.
Nice.
The free stars are called wandering stars, which are planets, dwarf planets, centaurs, and asteroids. but the fixed stars are the 88 constellations. The 88 constellations are fixed in reference point to each other, and they're all centered by the North Pole, which is Polaris, which is always fixed in the center. This wheel, as you say, I could say, this wheel turns every day in 23 hours and 56 minutes. As it turns, all of the heavenly bodies, whether they're fixed or free, turn with it. They all turn with it. And that's why we can watch the stars, we can watch Jupiter, we can watch Venus, we can watch Mars, and we can see as they slowly progress through the constellations, through the wheel. They slowly progress through the wheel, and they progress counterclockwise. That's the way that all free bodies progress. They do not progress clockwise. The wheel progresses clockwise, and as the wheel progresses clockwise, slowly the bodies move counterclockwise. The moon moving the fastest, going through 30 degrees in 2.5 days. The sun going in 1 year goes around the full circle of 360 degrees. So it takes the bodies a very long time, and that 360 degrees is the zodiac belt. That belt is 16 degrees up and down, or however you want to look at it. All of the free heavenly bodies maintain their plane within that zodiac belt. That zodiac belt is, we kind of see it with these 12 constellations by which we can watch these hands of the clock go around. The different heavenly bodies that are free, they are going around like hands counterclockwise. As the face of the clock, the 88 constellations, they wheel around every day very quickly. In one day, they go around 23 hours and 56 minutes. They turn. So the sun, because it takes a whole year for it to go around that zodiac wheel, it's moving about 1 degree a day. And that's why there's a 4-minute difference from when the sun gets around in 360 degrees. That's why we see different stars through the different seasons. It's a beautiful, beautiful clock. It's perfect clock. And it doesn't prove the earth is flat. The earth proves that the earth is flat, right? We don't need to use astrology to teach that the earth is flat, right? We look at geometry for that. But we look up to the sky to see the wonderful rule of heaven and to understand ourselves, our creation around us, and the source from which we come.
Very nice. I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So in regards to, because the other day I was looking at Stellarium and just kind of playing with it and kind of showing people some of the movements. And I noticed something that I don't think I've really noticed before. So I've thought that the sun above the earth and then the wanderers go around the sun. Is that correct? Is that how you see it?
No, that's not how it works.
Okay,
now,
explain it.
some of the bodies, they have every single, like the sun, it's always on what is called the ecliptic plane.
Right.
And that is the circle of its movement, right? And it always maintains that plane. It never steps out of plane.
Right.
And that plane is a level plane. And the moon has the exact same diameter of its plane of orbit, but its plane of orbit is inclined by 5.14 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And that's what creates how the moon has the 2 points where those meet are called the nodes.
The nodes, right.
And that's where all eclipses happen from those lunar nodes. And that is the cause of an eclipse. And that used to be called Rahu and Ketu and such.
Right.
But it's a simple thing. If we just want to be scientific about it, it's actually very simple. When the moon's orbit and the sun orbits meet within 6 degrees to either side from the center of that node is where all eclipses must happen, right? And the moon is eclipsed when it's on the opposite side, and the sun and moon together during the new moon is when the solar eclipse must happen. So it even determines which side that the eclipse happens on. So just like the moon and the sun have their orbital plane, all other bodies maintain their own orbital plane. They all maintain their own speed. The speed never changes, and neither does the pattern. But some bodies make a perfect circle, like the sun and moon, while others make a different type of pattern. We could call it spiral, right? And this is how like Venus and Mercury and some of these bodies move. And as they move this way, they're moving close to the sun. And they tend to be close to the sun as they're in this rhythm. just like music or anything else in reality, right? They have a rhythm to them and they maintain this. And this is part of why we see them the way we see them. But everything is going around the zodiac belt, every single thing in their rhythm. And this is why we have, just like last night, Venus and Jupiter were in their point where they were at their closest point. They were conjunct to each other last night. They were within 0.5 degrees from each other. And when you looked up, except it was very cloudy here and I couldn't see it, when you looked up, they appeared almost as one body. And those conjunctions, of course, energetically have an effect, as this is an electric universe that we're within, and so on. But some of those understandings actually are very simple when we look at astrology, not for necessarily people's interpretation thereof, but for what they're using by which to interpret, meaning the actual way that they see the sky. Because the way that they see the sky is perfectly flat Earth. They just don't realize it, right? They're excusing that away. But in reality, they're looking at a flat disk, they're looking down at it, and they're watching the sun and moon go around a center point. So they're not watching the Earth go around the sun and all the other bodies moving around the sun. They're not looking at that. They just believe that, but they're not looking at that. And if we just, that's what I did. So of course I take meanings from them because they are very meaningful. But for me, this is a scientific affair. So I want things to be understandable that are very easy to prove. And so many questions that I think flat earthers still have, they're very easily proven.
So the one question that
we're not open to these ideas.
Well, the one question I had that was kind of baffling me is when I was basically skipping forward like months at a time so I could watch these orbits. And I noticed that, so clearly Venus and Mercury cross between us and the sun when they seem to come across, but I don't think Jupiter or Saturn or any of them do. So then I started
I don't think any of them cross between us because we're on the ground and they're in the sky. But
what I mean is they interrupt the path between. You've seen a transit.
Yes.
Right. So I think I've seen both the transit of Venus and Mercury.
So you're asking, do they happen with the sun there?
No. So we know that.
No, I'm asking, like, what you're saying is like how that happens where Mercury and Venus transit, but you're saying that doesn't happen with Jupiter and Saturn.
That I know of, no, but maybe it just doesn't cross the same, that there's no node or something.
No, it happens. But first of all, anytime anything is conjunct with the sun, unless it's at the very end of the day or the very beginning of the day, you have no way to possibly see it because it's not bright enough to see with the sun washing it out, right?
Okay.
So we can't see these things except for at sunset and sunrise. So at those points, right beforehand, the twilight, at those points, we can see a lot of really cool things that help us understand the flat Earth. But you don't have to go outside and look at it like I have done for the last 10 years, even before I was a flat earther. And I go to the beach and such. I'm blessed to live near the beach, so I go there and check it out. But you can actually just look at software, just like you said, and you can go on astrological software and you can look at the points when these things happen. Okay, and you can see how it happens. And then you can go to Stellarium, like you were saying, and you can go to that exact time that it's supposedly happening, and it will match up perfectly. And then you can begin to see the patterns thereof. And it just is very simple to me. Like I said, the easiest way I've come up with explaining it, which I'm not saying many of the people that around me that have chosen to see the Earth as I do necessarily understand what I'm saying, but I have like different people that I have talked to that do, is it's just a simple clock, and the face of the clock is moving, and that face of the clock somewhat holds the hands to their position, but those hands also have their own energy by which they circuit in another way. And we can go to the town fair, and you can watch rides that do that. You can watch that happen in motion.
Right.
And you can say, see, that's what's happening. And when I've talked to other people that have big platforms, they tend to feel like, well, no, that can't be because they're going in the other direction at their own pace and so on and so on. And they're outpacing the stars and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but if you look at how Saturn moves, man, it moves so slow. You're saying that Saturn's moving like wicked fucking fast. And why are you saying that? It's so dumb to say that. It's so easy to see it that they're all just resting in their place in heaven, but they have a charge that allows them to also move upon the astral plane
counterclockwise.
in which exactly they're just moving on that astral plane. So yes, the astral plane is turning, but where they are, they can also move upon it, and they're on a track, and that track is a zodiac belt, and that belt is 16 degrees wide, and it's centered by the sun's ecliptic path, and it's so like it's not super crazy. And then what's interesting that not even any astrological stuff that I've ever read has shown is that the center of that zodiac belt is the darkness of the dragon Draco. It's very interesting, and it's off-centered from the North Pole and the celestial equator and the equator. It's off-centered from that point by 23.5 degrees from that perfect circle of the same size. So it just allows for all this perfect math to flow from it. So then we use that math to say we can understand exactly what we're looking at when we don't have a clue.
Right.
You know, it's so crazy.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. I let you go too long anyway, but that was John
Thank
O.
you, brother.
Fourth, and call back next week. We'd love to hear from you again. Yeah. We've got EXP, who's number 5. Go ahead, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Jaron. How you doing, brother?
Good. Just back away from the mouthpiece of the phone just a little bit so that people don't complain to me. But we are ready to go.
Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, just a little bit. No, it's just
I just wanted to first off just say thank you a lot for everything you do, man. You were one of the main ones that woke me up back in 2016 with your videos, you, ODD, and Eric DeBay. It was kind of undeniable, you know, after watching that information.
Thank you. You're welcome.
There?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, one way that people can, if they even doubt it, that I noticed myself, something we can notice, is just look up in the sky sometimes, and the crescent of the moon will not be coming from the direction that the sun went down in. It'll be coming from the opposite direction. It's like that's not even possible for what they claim to be the heliocentric model, you know?
Yeah, I see that sometimes too.
I think Skiba pointed that out in one of his videos, that the reflection was coming from the wrong side, if it were a reflection, which we know it's not, you know, but I just want to say thank you, man, because I don't know if you realize the impact you've had on a lot of people's lives. You and some of the others that's really been fighting hard to get the truth out. It really is working, man. There are a lot of people that are waking up.
It seems like it. I mean, at least I think now, if you 5 years ago, if you would ask people if they'd ever heard of flat Earth, they would say no. And now I'm guessing, 80% of people would say yes, maybe 90.
Oh, I was super stubborn about it, man. I was so stubborn about it. There was no way. It was the most stupid thing I'd ever heard. I thought I was so smart until you start looking into the information, and then you're like, shit.
There's just nothing there.
There's something to it.
Yeah, there's just nothing there. There's just pretend, and it's still funny to me that people think it's funny because even my sister's a little bit wishy-washy. But we were driving yesterday, and I was mentioning to her about the distance that they say the stars are. And I was like, how much is a trillion seconds? And she's like, oh, I can't really get that. I was like, well, just guess. What do you think? She's like, I don't think I could guess 1 billion seconds. I'm like, no, you probably couldn't. But I said, what do you think a trillion seconds would be? And she's like, I'm just gonna guess 90 years. And I said, no, it's more than that. She goes, 1 trillion seconds is more than 90 years? I'm like, yeah. She's like, 900 years. I'm like, more than that. She's like, I don't know, 9,000 years. I'm like, no, more than that. She's like, what the hell? I'm like, 31,000 years. So when you tell somebody that, and then you explain to them that the closest star to us is 25 trillion miles away, and it just kind of equates what the idea of trillion is. So we know what, just like you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, 1 billion seconds, I really can't get that. Well, just like you couldn't understand 1 billion miles, right? That's just insanity. And so to think of 1 billion miles as insanity, and then you add to that 1 trillion miles as insanity, then you multiply that by 25, and that's the closest star. And to think that these great men have determined those distances based on what? Well, just because that's how far they have to be, right? That there's just no other, and people believe that these guys are out there measuring shit, like they've got some sort of ruler or something that they're able to just measure these distances. It's insane. And I told my sister, she goes, well, they've seen planets around these other. I'm like, there's nobody in the world has ever seen a star as anything other than a pinprick of light. There is no picture of a sun. We have our sun, and then we've got stars, and nobody in the history of the world has ever seen anything but a pinprick. The best telescope in the world cannot see anything other than a pinprick of light and call that a star. So if you want to believe that then there's planets going in front of pinpricks of light, hey, whatever, whatever you want. But the more you kind of lay this out for people, it's, and I think that it's a good thing to do to throw at them. I kind of say is like, oh, you go ahead if you want to believe in these great men, these great atheists that can see back in time. It always kind of takes people by surprise. So like, what do you mean can see back in time? It's like, that's what they claim. That's what they do. They look in the sky and everything they see is back in time because they're so brilliant that all this light took, and it just kind of breaks it down for people to where they have to think about it. They have to weigh those. They have to weigh that thought of, wait, how would we know the distance of these stars? You wouldn't. You can't. And it's just the same thing as who asked me yesterday, Upside Down guy.
Hey, Jaron.
Yes.
Yeah, crap. My Bluetooth died, brother. Y'all take care.
Okay. See you later. All right. I guess that's it for EXP. He is number 5 if you want to vote for him. That would be funny if he won. Brian Leakey, I'm going to be with you 1 second. Just going to finish my thought here. So, see, I got interrupted. So I was talking about the stars, the distance, and the 25 trillion miles. I guess that was basically it. Just the chances that these guys could figure that out is insanity to me. And then they go, oh, this one's this far and this one's this far. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And to believe all that is just folly in my mind. All right, let's go to Brian. Brian, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, you got to turn off. Turn off your other.
It's off. Hold on, I'll make sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, am I coming in okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm.
Okay,
hold on, I'm going to let you go because I have an echo. So go ahead.
Wait.
So go ahead.
3 minutes. Go.
3 minutes. Go.
I was gonna see if I could play another 3-minute video, man.
Sure.
And just say hey to everybody and vote for number 6, man. But flat Earth test got a lot of hands on. I just got the selenium a couple months ago, and I tried to do hands on like you. You know, we talk, but demonstration's king. But I like to call these Globers out and catch them contradicting themselves. So I'm gonna try and call in it every week or every other week with them lying through their teeth and contradicting themselves. So if you could play the man brat that I just sent a telegram,
Okay.
I would sure appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Sorry, I couldn't talk till I got rid of him because I don't like to hear myself. That says FE test. I know it doesn't really look like it. It does. Let's move that over. And then he said what? He sent me on Telegram. And let's bring that up. Where are you at here? You are. Didn't I rename you to FE test or no? Yeah, they are. Okay. And you just sent that there. Great. Yep. I'll move it over here. Oh boy. I lost it. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at here? Why don't I see you now? I just saw you. Did I change your name or no? That's the problem. Now I don't know if I changed people's names or not. Maybe you're still under Brian. Let's try that. There you are. I did not change your name. That's why. All right, here we go. This is a video from. There you go. And we're going to play it on.
Earth does not rotate. So
here we go. Oh, I think I saw this one, but let's watch it. Let's go down here. And there you go. Enjoy.
Craig will admit that Earth does not rotate under things. I'll agree, Craig. I appreciate the concession.
Planes, insects, they all use the atmosphere to fly. And the Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating underneath things.
Okay, so we're going to follow along. So he makes it crystal clear that the Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating underneath things. And in a condescending fashion, like he's teaching him something.
Is it that the pendulum is moving to and fro and the Earth is moving underneath it? Is that what you're saying?
And that's what's happening with the Foucault's pendulum.
Is it actually or not?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes, that's what's happening with the Foucault's pendulum.
Now, when he's making a different point, he's saying that the Earth is moving underneath things. This is what he does. And all the Globers do this with Coriolis. So I'm trying to point it out. I try to show them their contradictions. I don't see how they're going to ignore this one. But they probably will anyway.
To the flat Earth, it's just you not understanding what the Coriolis force is. So, to clarify, the Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating underneath things.
You said that the ground was moving underneath the Falkland pendulum. It's not.
As the pendulum swings,
and if that were
ground
the
moves
case,
underneath it.
now
Yeah. I am educating you on what the Coriolis force is. The Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating underneath something.
Were the case, that means when we have a helicopter outside in the open air, and as soon as it starts to hover, the Earth should be moving underneath the helicopter. But that doesn't happen.
No.
We don't witness that.
A helicopter is not a pendulum.
It's the same principle, isn't it?
No, it's not. The fact that a pendulum is swinging backwards and forwards allows that pendulum to maintain its swing relative to the axis versus rotation. The same as if you put a pendulum on a merry-go-round, started swinging that pendulum, and then turned that merry-go-round, the pendulum would maintain its original direction of swing, even though the merry-go-round was going underneath it.
So I've showed this before with Craig, just bold-faced lying and switching his arguments with different debates. You know, he did it with me, and he does it all the time. He's a bold-faced liar. Okay, and he acts like he's teaching us something. So Jen makes a good point. Okay, when Craig claims with Jen that the Earth is rotating underneath things, and it's rotating underneath the pendulum, then Jen makes the point that then it would rotate underneath the helicopter. That's a fair point. So besides the flip-flopping, the blatant contradiction is that Craig brings up a merry-go-round as an example and says the Foucault pendulum would maintain its line of swinging. But what about the helicopter, Craig? The helicopter is going to deviate also. You idiot. Dude, this is what happens if you don't discipline your children. You wind up with like an anal retentive man brat. So this is how far they're willing to go to maintain their Foucault pendulum proof of rotation. They will blatantly contradict themselves. So to hang on to their proof, then yeah, the Earth does rotate underneath the Foucault pendulum. But a helicopter or a hot air balloon? No. Then the Earth doesn't rotate underneath things. They flip-flop back and forth. So let's give them that the atmosphere spins with the merry-go-round. If the helicopter went against the rotation of the merry-go-round, it's going to get back around quicker. I mean, they don't understand this simple shit. They literally blind themselves to maintain their model.
So,
all right, in this case, and let me just give my opinion real quick here. I do think that a majority, vast majority, huge majority of flat earthers or they don't understand what the globe model is when it comes to Coriolis. And I think that probably Nathan Oakley's to blame for that, because they conflate the two and then people get confused between the two. So I see what Craig is saying. What he's saying is that think about, so let's say there's two different things. We're talking about when we're asking whether or not the Coriolis force is because the Earth is moving underneath the air, right? And the answer is no. And I know that because the Coriolis force is talking about, let's picture you're on a moving sphere, a spinning sphere, right? Let's say that you're at the equator, okay? And you are about to shoot a gun north. Okay. So my opinion, and we're not talking about the atmosphere at all. We're just saying if you're shooting a gun north from the equator, if you shoot that gun north, because the place that you shot it from is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and the space that you're shooting it to, and it might be in reality 999.9, right? What I'm saying? If you're just shooting it a little bit forward, that the Coriolis force is saying that because that area that you're shooting to spins slower, that the item will end up to the right. So that makes sense to me. That if we were on a spinning ball, that they would be correct. They would be correct that if you shoot a gun from 1,000 mile per hour position, has nothing to do with the atmosphere. It has everything to do with the fact that you're shooting it from a place spinning a certain speed. If you're pointing directly north and you shoot it, how would it, it's not going to end up straight from where you're at because the land that it's coming to you is rotating at a different speed. So that's always made sense to me. Now, when you're talking about the Foucault's pendulum, that's different because what they're saying the Foucault's pendulum does is that as the Earth rotates underneath it, and yes, that the air is being carried with it, just like it is with the gun shooting, that pendulum that's swinging, as soon as you start swinging, it's swinging in one plane, one straight plane. And if the Earth would turn underneath it, that pendulum still would go in that plane. It's going to still swing. Because the Earth is spinning doesn't mean that the plane of the spin starts to move. The plane is going to stay the same, and you're moving underneath it. So that's why I understand both, or both positions. Are they double speaking? Yeah, because I don't even think Globers understand the Coriolis force for the most part, right? Which many people do think, because you got stupid Neil deGrasse Tyson using the football example. So then people say, oh, but the Earth is spinning underneath the football. Well, the Earth is always moving, they say. So all Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying is if you kick a field goal and it misses by just a post or whatever, that it could be, now this is how dumb it is. You're kicking the ball in a direction that is going to change speed, meaning you're going, let's say you're in New York or something. So you're going 650 miles per hour. Well, then you're kicking it to where it's going 649.99999 miles per hour, right? That's all that they're saying. They're not saying that because the atmosphere, they say, moves with the Earth, which is of course absurd. That's the point that we need to get at, not the semantics of what the Coriolis force does, because all they're basing their shit on is if we were on a moving sphere, this would happen. So I feel like when we say, no, you're wrong about the Coriolis force, well, they're not wrong about the Coriolis force. They're correct about it. They're saying if we're on a moving sphere, these things would happen. Now, again, we've seen people shoot guns and they're like, doesn't it make any effect? We've seen the lies that they have to tell to make this seem like it's happening on Earth. You've got Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, oh, but the British Army kept shooting cannonballs out in the water and missing by this crazy amount until they corrected for Coriolis, and then they started landing the cannonballs. Complete and total fabrication of a story. It's been admitted, been shown that that's just ludicrous. If you missed a cannonball to the right, you'd aim to the left. And then you'd shoot it again. And if you missed to the right, you'd aim to the left until you attack the ship that you're attacking. You wouldn't just keep firing away cannonballs like, well, seems to be correct, Jim. I don't know what's wrong with our locations. So Coriolis is the idea of it is clearly absurd, but that's because we don't live on a sphere. The idea of Coriolis on a sphere is not absurd. That is what would happen. And the same thing is what they're saying for the Foucault's pendulum. But as we've said, the Foucault's pendulum would also have that kind of rotation if we had a toroidal ether spin or sky spin above us, right? And that's been admitted by Einstein and by who's the guy that came up with time contraction and length, whatever his name is. Anyway, why can't I think of his name? Gale, right? So to me, it just seems like that's not a point of contention for me. It's not, oh, you're making up lies about the Coriolis or the Coriolis force. And I don't think they're making up lies. I think that the lie is that they live on a ball. That's the lie. So that's why it doesn't work. And that's why one way that Austin and I have come up with that we think would be a great tell, it would be huge if we could do this, is to go to the equator and set up our own Foucault pendulum. Because neither him nor I are in of the illusion that the Foucault's pendulum does not work. That the Foucault's pendulum does swing in a plane, and then it seems that plane changes over time. Now, could that be the sky or could it be the ground underneath us? Well, here's the thing. If it's the sky, then when we go to the equator, it will still have the same change. On their model, it must not have any change. So in their model, if we went to the equator, set up a Foucault's pendulum, and swung it, that swing would stay directly straight the entire time. That's different on a flat Earth model. On a flat Earth model, if it really is the sky above us turning, then being on the equator is not going to make a difference. Being on the equator is still going to cause some deviation of that plane of swing. So that would be a great test. It's just, where do you go? How do you get to the equator? How do you build one of these? I've seen crazy prices for a Foucault pendulum. I know there's ones on YouTube that are cheaper, but hundreds of thousands of dollars, really, or maybe $100,000. All right, let's see do we have anybody else left? That makes sense. I don't know if anybody got what I was saying. If you want to vote for me, I'll be number 7. No, I'm just kidding. Let me bring this back up and see where we're at. See if there's anybody in the chat saying anything good over here. But Jaron, look at what RJ said to me earlier that I forwarded to you earlier. All artists know that what flat earthers say about perspective is lies, and they can prove it. Wait, what? All artists know that what F-ears say about perspective is lies. What do we say about perspective? Don't know what you mean. Are we have anybody over here? Where are we at? StreamYard. All right. Oh boy. Oh Jesus. Here we go again. If you guys pick this one as a winner, I'm quitting. Brenda, you got 3 minutes, and boy, it started 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. So you want me to? You're still getting Coriolis and
Oh
all the
yeah,
other
you're the
things
one who I
wrong.
would. You're the first one I go to for truth. Tell me about Coriolis then.
Yeah, it's due to the conservation of momentum.
Yeah, no
right?
shit.
Because, yeah, the perspective. Yes, and since we can observe it, then the Earth is moving.
What do you mean?
That's just logically follows.
Observe what?
We observe the Coriolis force. The Coriolis force can't happen.
When do we
on
observe it?
On a stationary plane?
Yes, it can.
There would be no Coriolis force.
If the sky is moving above us, it's the same thing. They've already proven. They've already shown this. Both Einstein and I can't think of the guy's name. I'll look it up for you. So you have the name.
The sky doesn't cause objects on the Earth to move.
Oh, so okay. So trust you over Einstein and those guys. All right, I'll get on that.
That's not what they said. You don't understand what they said. You can barely understand high school science. You aren't going to understand that stuff.
Coming from the person who said
Right?
that satellites have to be 1,000 kilometers, doesn't know the difference between 8 inches per mile squared, doesn't know how to calculate for 1 mile. Want me to keep
Yeah.
going?
Yeah. Making mistakes and then correcting them is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Well, it's not.
And it
understanding
doesn't
high
make
school
the things that I say
physics.
wrong, right?
Well, if somebody had 100 things wrong in a row, are you going to bet that their 101st thing is correct? I wouldn't.
100 things. So the point is that you shoot a projectile from the equator. It has a certain speed, and it maintains that speed as it travels north or south.
Didn't I say
the
that?
The ground beneath it is spinning slower, and therefore it will appear to deviate from the other frame of reference to either the right, to the right. Depending on where you're situated on the Earth, right? And so the very presence of hurricanes proves that the Earth rotates.
That's just dumb.
The very fact that you can locate your latitude using a Foucault's pendulum proves that the Earth rotates, right?
No, I've not seen anything like that. That's just completely that's insanity. They have to set the Foucault's pendulum to be at the spin.
Denial is not a response. Do you have an argument?
Yes. Why do you need an electronic drive to move your pendulum?
You don't.
Excuse me?
You don't.
So if you swing a pendulum, it'll just keep swinging forever?
No, nobody thinks it will swing forever.
How long will it swing?
I don't know.
Not even long enough to see this deviation.
It's not important. It's not. They only do that for display purposes.
Right.
You can see the deviation and calculate your latitude using a Foucault's pendulum that doesn't have that little mechanical boost to keep it up for the audience of the museum.
If we went
you don't have to have that.
If we went to the equator and we built a Foucault's pendulum and it did not, or it still deviated, would you then change your opinion?
That would be a very strong. There'd be an anomaly that we would need to understand, right? And actually, Craig has said he would help people set up a Foucault's pendulum properly. So you should talk to Fight the Flat Earth, Craig, and ask him, right, to help you set up a proper Foucault's pendulum.
Yes,
right, because the length of the string that it's on needs to be a certain significant length in order for the effect to be made apparent.
Yep. I know how it works.
So you should do that, right? You should contact him and talk to him.
Yeah, we want to do it on the equator.
But yes, you'll get a null result.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. You'll get a null result.
And what if it deviates?
It won't.
I'm asking you, what if it did?
It would be an anomaly that we would need to figure out why that happened.
So nothing would convince you that you're not on a spinning space rock
That's not
flying
what I
through.
said. That's
I'm
not
asking.
what I said.
And then what it would. If that's not direct evidence that what your claim is completely wrong.
That's not evidence that my claim is wrong.
Yes, it is. If you're saying that
No,
you can
it's
tell
not.
your latitude by the plane of the spin, and then we go to the equator and it still has deviation, then what are you going to tell me, that you're on the 37 degree or what?
That would be an anomalous result, and I would need to figure out what that is.
So you're going into tests. Hold on, you're going into every test saying that it's either going to prove the globe or it's going to be an anomalous result.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, goodbye.
If there were.
See ya. All right, that's enough for that one. And if you want to pick that person, well, you got problems. Claptrap-ism.
Why you gotta exaggerate?
Oh boy.
Well, I know when I sit on a toilet, my testicles begin to rotate counterclockwise if I'm on there too long. So
all right, we didn't need to know that. We didn't need to know that.
I don't know if the Foucault's pendulum thing works, but
I don't know either. But I do want to try myself. I think you can get one of those big pools, like a kiddie pool, and then fill it up, and then you put like a little hole at the bottom, and then see which way it. Because if you let it sit there, right? Let's say you poke the hole the day before, and then you stick a little cork in there or something. I don't know, whatever it is, attached to a string, and then you fill the kiddie pool up with water, and you let it sit for like a day, so it's in your garage and it's just still as could be. And then you pull
I don't
that
think
plug.
you'll get a whirlpool. I don't think you'll get a whirlpool. I think you need like a.
Supposedly you will. But again, see, to me, that doesn't mean anything because that could be the sky.
But the pendulum's connected to the ground, like kind of going back to the pendulum thing. So it's like.
Right, that's different. That's a different thing. This is why I think people get confused. So the pendulum is talking about if you dropped a ball on a string, it's just going to swing in a certain plane, right? That's what it's going to do. Now, I'm guessing it's because if you started to twist that base that it's on, right? If you started to move the base a little bit, to like the plane would stay the same, but the base is moving. So that's what they're saying is happening with the Earth, that the ground is moving and the plane is staying the same. So when that thing knocks over little pegs, like at the museum, you've seen that, right? Where like it's right. So now that's done with electronic drive, but obviously what they're saying is that plane of swing is the same always. It never changes. It's just going to swing back and forth, back and forth. And then when you're seeing it knock down different pegs, they're saying that's the ground moving underneath it. That's what they say. And then they say that there would be, I forgot what the exact mathematics is to it. It's not like simple to figure out because it's like, oh, at this location, it takes 37 hours to do a full turn. And this location it takes, and that part is weird to me. Because I don't understand why it wouldn't just be 24 hours no matter where.
And then like the fact that you have to measure the string, like does it have to be a prime fraction number or something? Like
I don't know.
Shouldn't make any.
I just know it's supposed to be really long.
How about punching bags? When you go to a gym,
right?
All the punching bags aren't spinning,
right? or big cranes holding wrecking balls.
Yeah. It's. I mean,
no,
like you got to put like some force into it. So like even the pendulum will come to a stop eventually, right?
Yeah, always. Yeah, and
just
pretty
dangle
quickly.
there.
Pretty quickly.
But then if you measure it, shouldn't it be like, say it's 90 degrees to the ground? Shouldn't it be like 0.01 degrees, like momenting, like whatever way the Earth's spinning?
I lost you there. Say again.
Like, okay, so say the pendulum or my testicles or a boxing bag is 90 degrees to the ground. Shouldn't like the Coriolis effect make it point angle just like very little, like the way with the spin?
Probably, and they would say that it does. If you were to really measure it, it's not, it's something like
it's just so small we can't see it with the naked eye.
Right.
Well, yeah, think of the thing so small. Like, do you think there's like infinity in between on a ruler between 1 inch and 2 inches?
Conceptually, but that's why math isn't reality.
Well, I think if you have an end point, it's not infinite. So, like when they say like, "Oh, there's infinite between
where
1
would
inch."
you stop? Where would you stop the decimal point? I mean, if it's 0.999999999, couldn't you go forever? Conceptually,
I mean,
that's all it is. It's just mathematics. It's a human invention, a way of calculation, or a way of it's a language, but it's essentially it's the same as saying that we can make words that are of infinite length. Right? I mean, you could. How are you going to argue with that? Yeah, there could be a word that has a zillion letters. I mean, it's just
do you know
dumb.
the biggest word? You know the biggest word, right?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism or something?
Supercalifragilistic.
I think anti-disestablishmentarianism is longer.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know how many letters they have. I wouldn't even know how to spell it.
You could start by clock, so I could.
Oh, sorry. Jeez. Thank you for reminding me that. People are going to get mad. All right. Number 8 is upside down guy. Or
like I tuned in late, so I thought you were like putting a ban list of people that can't call into the show.
No, just try. We're going to give away a ticket to the summit.
Oh, all right. So I'm kind of in a conundrum, and I need some Jeranism advice.
Okay.
So imagine this was a consultation.
Is this better for Telegram? Or is it okay?
It's kind of ranting over. But okay, so I have some coworkers. Well, like I guess like I got security guards that were like mask enforcement officers.
Good guys.
And they got me a write up at my work because I kept showing up without a mask. And so I'm curious, like, they've never apologized and been like, okay, it's kind of ridiculous. So, like, should I just, like, go about my life and act like they weren't assholes the past 2 years?
I don't think there's a problem with you saying something, but I think that, I would maybe leave it open so in the future they don't do that again, right?
Should I ask them, like, do you think you owe me an apology?
I think that's probably a step too far because they were doing their job, right? So imagine if you were doing your job. I'm not sure. I guess, yes. I mean, if they're good people, they would give you an apology. But I think it'd be better to, like, what do you guys think about how you guys were doing that mask enforcement and now, everything that's come out about masks, and what do you guys think about it? I wouldn't ask for the apology. I'd say, what do you think about it? And then kind of gauge it from there. But I mean, again, it's they were doing their job. It's not like they were doing it because they don't like you.
That's the famous words. I'm just doing my job.
Oh, I hate it, but I'm just saying so that's what they're going to say. So
yeah, like, imagine if you, like, fired someone at CVS and then
found out that
2 years later you're like, ugh.
And you know what? That probably would have happened. Right? I'm sure there are employees that got fired from jobs, and it sucks.
I think we're like this year, like, everyone's just going back to normal. Like, it
were
never
they
happened.
dicks about it?
Yeah.
It wasn't
they got me a write up. Like, I literally had to go into, like, the principal's office and sign paperwork.
But what I mean
saying,
is,
like,
did
if
they
I
do
could
it like hesitantly, or did they do it like we're going to?
No, they did it. They did it behind my back. I said I didn't have one, like, for, like, the umpteenth time, and they, like, sent emails, and then, like, I got written up, like, the next day.
So how many times did they let you work without one?
Well, it's just checking in to the facility, really, that I would have to wear it. So it was just totally bogus. So, I mean, I guess they let me off but then, like, 2 weeks later, they lifted the mask mandate.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if I would ask for an apology, but it's sometimes one way I used to teach my son is what good can come of it, right? So any event or anything you're about to do, you should always think to yourself, what good can come from this? Like, my son used to come out and I'd be mowing the lawn or something. He'd go in the garage, grab a screwdriver, and just come out and just start winging it up in the air. And I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Playing with a screwdriver? I'm like, think to yourself real quick, what good can come of this?
Kids just being kids.
Yeah, but not throwing screwdrivers. There's nothing good. There's no good that's going to happen. It's not going to land on a dime, and you're, I found this dime. Thank goodness I threw this screwdriver. There's just no good that can come of that. So there is good if they can come from playing basketball, playing hide and go seek. There's good that can come of that.
I mean, should we just go back to going on cruises and going to concerts and acting like nothing happened when this imaginary thing's mutating and becoming more dangerous?
I think we need to be ready for the next one. Like, if this world falls for that again and doesn't stand up for itself, I mean, come on. So that's my only hope, is that you can't go back in time. We're not going to be able to change what already happened. So,
I don't think they're going to do a next one.
Ever?
Not in our lifetime. Maybe in like 33 years or something, or 100 years.
I think something's coming. Yeah, I think something's coming. I think that
possibly
was
a war.
Right, which would be another reason to. I mean, now they have the ability to just shut people down. They know it, and people will go into their houses if they tell them to. So that's a scary precedent. Now, I think they've also exposed a lot, and there's a lot of people who are going to look at it differently next time and are just going to say flat out no. I mean, there's still, there's businesses that are gone. People without jobs, people who had careers, people who had businesses they'd spent their whole life building up that are just gone. So,
well, Trump made it real easy for small businesses to get loans and do a startup, like get a property and just have small business like restaurants, just
a lot of that money was stolen, it seems.
Things.
Yeah,
and then COVID hit and they closed it all down. So it was like kind of like a money grab for small business loans.
It always is. It always is. All right, well, I don't know if I started your clock. I don't think I remember. I don't think I started your clock. Anyway.
I was just thinking, like, should we just go back to normal and act like it didn't happen? Because, I mean, and just because, like, a part of me is just like can't go to a concert and act like.
I don't think you can actually. It's not going to do any good to harp on it. Like, it's not. We have to see what those people do next, right?
It's just slightly disgusting.
It is disgusting, and so you can call it out if you see it. But I just don't know if like harping on it is going to do anything. It's not going to change anything.
Then there's like, did you get it? Did you there's a question like, did you get it? I guess is all I can say.
Like, but it's just like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
The several of them. Well, I think
the
that
Shania Pain.
yes,
I don't know.
these boots are made for
I
walking.
don't know. That's what would be my consultation request. Like, should we just go back to normal? Just act like it didn't happen?
Well, here's the thing: is you don't want anybody to get too firm in their position, right? What I mean by that is that if, like I tell people, if you went to your brother or sister and you're like, "Hey, I think the Earth's flat," and they're like, "You're a fucking idiot," and you're like, "No, I really do. Here's the reasons." Like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot." The more you keep pushing that, the more that person's going to take an opposite stance and then stand firm in it, right? They're not going to even be open to it because they now want to prove you wrong, and so they're going to go looking for Professor Dave videos. That's what they become. They become that militant anti-person because you push too hard. Whereas if you would have said it and they're like, "That's stupid," and you go, "Oh, no big deal. I just was looking into it. Thought you might have looked into it." If you just left it at that, now the person has got that spinning in their brain. And if they see something that looks weird, or they see the SpaceX put the stupid car in supposed space, then they might go back to you and say, "What did you say about the?" And then they're kind of with it. Then they're like with you in this little journey. So I think the same thing is true here, that if we go too hard at these people, like, "Look at you did." Now the people with people who took the vaccine are going to then take the position that it must be anything else other than the vaccine that's causing these problems. And it's actually going to, and then it becomes this the us versus them thing again. Whereas if we just kind of let it go and wait for this thing to come up again, because I think it will, and then see how people react, because then if I see people react, then I'll just go off on them. Is "You are an idiot. Were you not here last time?" And my hope would be that some of those people secretly take the new position, which is no. They did this last time. I'm not doing this time, because they're not taking
I
a
think
firm
if they
position.
do something, they'll say it's like caused by mosquitoes again to keep people inside.
I'm sure.
When it gets to dawn.
I don't know how you convince people that there's no viruses. It's like it takes you a while. It's funny because I know how the battles go now. When I first heard that, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I argued with it. I contended. I had to think about it. I had to watch my family. I had to watch the way people act. Then I started hearing all these stories of, "Oh, my husband has COVID and he's had it for 2 weeks and he's just been in the room. And have you got it? No. Okay. So, then you start looking at things like that, or my wife getting sick for 3 days. She was sick. I had to take the baby. Then as soon as she was better, it was like, "Oh, I feel sick. Give her the baby." It's like, wait, why wouldn't we both get sick at the same time? Then I start to see all these things that Amanda Vollmer and, Dr. Coughlin, all those guys, they're all saying the same thing, that viruses are, and then I think Owen Benjamin put it great when he says, viruses are like getting to a fire and seeing firefighters and saying that the firefighters caused the fire. So we wait till somebody's sick and then we go take these things and we're like, "Oh, look, they've got these things in them. They must be viruses that came from outside and are flying through the sky." No, it's not what happens. It's your body responding. And I think we have a perfect mechanism to get well, to get healthy. And that's what they've interrupted, or what do you call it? Hijacked, right? They hijacked our body's process and said, "Oh, when this happens, we'll just say it's from an outside agent and we need to stop it." So they give you medication to stop
I
it.
remember Harmon calling in and saying, like, "We don't have an immune system."
Right.
And you gave him backlash.
Yep.
So how do you feel about the immune system?
I believe we have a perfect system to get healthy. It's not like what we've been taught. It's not an immune system like, "Oh, when you get a little virus, then your system learns to fight it." And so it's just more of a system of healing, I guess you call it. So I guess it comes down to, what do you mean by immune system?
I think it's like a tolerance thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's the same as like poison, right? You can't drink poison. I can't drink poison, but there's tons of people who can, simply because they took a little bit of poison every day. And so now they're immune to it. So is that your immune system? Well, it's like you said, it's a tolerance system. It's a, so I guess I would not say we don't have an immune system, because it is an immune system, whether or not you're immune to something, right? If you get a certain flu, I think you're immune to that flu, but it's because your body already went through it. So it's not immune to something outside. It's more of like
I don't know. I think if you ate a gram of poop or fecal matter one day and you just tried to build up a tolerance to poop, I don't think you could.
Oh, easily.
I mean, easily. Okay, you gotta start.
Think about alcohol. Think about everything, right? I mean, you can't go drink. Well, maybe you can. You drink a lot. Never mind. I can't go drink a fifth of vodka or something. But somebody who drinks a lot can do it, no problem. They don't get drunk.
You want to hear before I get like a silly off-topic thing?
Sure.
Have you heard of sleepwalking?
Yes.
Well, there's the thing called sleep crapping or sleep S word. And Michael Jordan allegedly suffered from sleep shitting. And he would go and sleep with women and then crap the bed.
What the hell?
And then he started claiming that he was doing it on purpose or whatever, and like as like a dominant thing. Like he was like, no, I do it on purpose.
Oh wow.
To where in actuality, like he was just involuntarily crapping the bed and didn't want to wear diapers at night because he could afford to just buy everyone new sheets in the morning.
Okay, him and Amber Heard.
Here's where.
Match
All right, guys.
Later.
Take it easy.
Peace. All right, we got Zach the Diver. Zach, oh, I didn't bring you on. I pressed the button, but not really. There we go. What's up, Zach? All right, we got a drawing here. I like it.
Right. All right. So I want to talk about subliminal messaging. I want to talk about the lie.
Okay.
Right. We just heard you get into a typical argument. We knew exactly what was going to happen when that guy called in, right? You were going to make a point. He's not listening. He's going to make his point. He's going to argue science with science because you can always create science, right?
Of course. They're
They
always
always
right.
create their answers. Right. But what do we do to really get to people? We convince them the lie exists. Once you know the lie exists, you don't go backwards, right?
Right.
David Weiss always says, I was brought into flat earth kicking and screaming.
Right.
But the reason it worked is because he already knew they were lying. He already knew all of this cumulative propaganda was built up, right? So just like this, right? This is just a robot, but this represents they, right? What do we got? Oh, it's hard to do. Pyramid, 33 up here. Everything's about subliminal messaging. So my art, I do public art.
Okay, like
So
murals?
No. I suck at painting, drawing, any of that. That was marker on cardboard. I'm terrible at drawing. I actually make metal art.
Oh, cool. Oh, I like that one. That's nice.
Yeah, we know what that means, right?
Yeah.
That means something to people that understand liberty, freedom,
Right.
libertarian mindsets, those things, right?
Absolutely.
So that kind of stuff, that symbolism, that propaganda works, right? So we get
Absolutely.
people by exposing the lie. We get people by bringing them into brands like the Bitcoin. We bring them into brands that mean something, right? Remember that obey, that
Yeah.
whole
Absolutely.
thing? I mean, a lot of people resonated with that. They were like, oh, look, people are trying to tell me to do something.
Right. And people hate to be told what to do.
Exactly. So all of my art, like this one is just nothing but curvature, right? So I called it Looking for Curvature. And it's going to be a scuba diving piece of art for scuba divers underwater because that's where space is. Right. And then this one's in progress. It's called The Globe in Pieces. So everything is about just putting out subliminal messaging for me.
I like it.
And a lot of this is centered around this robot and they and the 33 and the pyramid, the stuff that we all recognize the symbology of.
Yeah, you're giving me so many ideas
That's
in my
where we
head,
need
too.
to go.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
got to keep tricking these people into letting us put our symbology out there, put our propaganda out there to wake people up.
Yeah, I like it. And now I'm thinking brands. Like, what brand can we do for, like not dumb enough to think we see 25 trillion miles, and then you just leave them in the other box, which is, well, if I'm not dumb enough to believe that and you believe that we see 25 trillion miles, well, then you're the dum-dum. So I see what you're saying is to get that kind of brand idea or that symbology that people recognize.
Right. Just like they did to us with the disc.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
The ice wall, the
They know what they're
disc.
doing.
They use these negatives.
They put all the planets next to the sun, and then there's the disk. Right.
Right. That's our symbology. That's what we think, right? That's what they've convinced people. That's what we think. And they don't even have to check because they believe in that
Right.
purveyor of propaganda.
Yep. They know that. I mean, that's what they're great at. Propaganda is key.
Yeah. And nobody's going to research. Nobody wants to research. They want an
Nobody really has
expert. They
time.
want the Fauci's.
Right. They want somebody to do it for them. Exactly. Because people get lost. They don't know what's true and what's not. Right. So they're like, well, I'm not going to go research. What am I could find anything. I could find pro or against any subject that I look at. So they just really give up and they put it in the hands of other people.
But look at this audience right now. Everybody that's calling in, everybody I've been listening to this whole time, what you're doing, but what everybody's doing. Nobody's coming on here and going, hey, Jaron, give me the Jeranism. Tell me what's true.
Right. No.
All we want to know is what's going on. Give us some feedback. And then people are calling in and saying, look at this test. Look at this test. Look at this, what I'm doing over here. That's what matters. Nobody on the other side is doing that. Nobody is going out there and measuring the curve unless it's to try to mock somebody else.
or to show that it mathematically works in their little program, which is like, yes, we know that they can program
Like
that.
I said, they will always create the science to
Right.
back their science.
Right. It's got the Walter Bislin calculator that you can move the refraction level up and see China from New Jersey. Cool. What does that mean? So if we ever do see China from New Jersey, it's covered already. Walter Bislin's calculator proves it. It's just a lot of refraction. So crazy.
If you're in New Jersey, get out of New Jersey. Come to Oklahoma. Go to Texas. Go to Florida.
I think I'm going to
Get
go
out
to
of there.
Texas myself, but luckily we're in the last little foothold here in California, but it's not going to be like this for long. Still people wearing masks. I don't know what the hell their problem is. Well, thanks,
Well,
Zach. We appreciate it. You are number 9. Vote 9 for Zach the Diver and his awesome art. If you ever want to make something,
Yeah.
I've got some space on the wall back here. We can put
Awesome.
something
Hey,
back there.
check me out on Instagram, Zachary Long Artist.
Zachary Long Artist. Nice.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
We've got Sarah in the house. Oh, I thought we were going to have you on video. Nope. We're unlucky.
I can't. I don't know how.
I don't know how either.
There we go.
Oh, now
Can
we see you.
me, though?
Not really, but good enough. There you go. You're a little brighter there.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
I have a face.
You do. And a smile. I like the smile. Very good.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What do you got for us today? You want me to start your clock?
Sure. I had a couple things to tell you today.
Okay, I'm ready. Go.
So I've been reading a lot of books about like energy healing, like energy medicine, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And the most recent one was saying about like food allergies, that you can actually like test the food before you eat it to see if you're going to have a reaction to it.
How
I
by
didn't really grasp, like, there's like ways to look it up, I think,
all right.
but it seemed like you like held the food in your hand and then maybe like push down on the arm where the hand, like the food is, and see how fast your muscles like bounce back from it.
Yeah, it's called NEFT or something. Let me look it up because
Yes.
we did it, and I thought it was, at least, you know, this is the hard part when you have a practitioner. Maybe she was full of shit, right? Like I
Right.
don't know. What is it? I can't remember now.
It was something like that, I think.
Yeah, I just don't remember exactly what oh shoot, it doesn't seem like it's NEFT. That would be NEFT. It's NA. You don't remember what it is? NAET maybe? Oh yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, so it's the NAET is a natural drug-free, non-invasive treatment to relieve allergies, addiction, anxiety, depression, many other disorders. So basically, the person we went and saw had these suitcases full of vials, and in the vials was every type of item that you could imagine. And I'm going to stop your clock because I want to let you talk after. But one of
That's
the
fine.
craziest things that she showed us was that she said when they need to get rid of autism, that they
Mhm.
they have the autism case. When you open the autism case, it's all of the vaccines.
Yep.
Yep. So they actually have a little vial of every vaccine that a child gets, and then when they have issues, then they have to go through each vial until they find the one that causes. So the problem with it was with my son is that he was only one, so she had to do it through his mother, which meant
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what the book said.
yeah,
Yep.
Missa had to be holding him, and then
Uh-huh.
this girl was like testing her muscle response. So Missa would hold her
Yes.
arm out, or I forgot which one it was, maybe it went like this, and then she had to push it down or something.
Yes.
And when it
that
was
way,
weak,
yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So we didn't get anywhere with her, and we spent so much freaking money, and it was an hour away drive to get to her, and we were going once a week, and she was charging like $100 a visit or $110, and we went for like 8 or 9 weeks, and there was just no. And she did say something. Well, at first we were like, "Oh, that's interesting," because she was like, "Oh, Maverick had an incident in the stomach around 30 something weeks." She like knew the week of it. I don't know. Again, but so at first we're like, maybe this is going to work. But it didn't work, and we actually eventually asked her like, "Well, what do you?" Because we got there, she's like, "Oh, almost everybody that comes in gets cured." So and we just were like, it wasn't helping at all, because what she was doing is every day we'd go in and then she'd say, "Okay, today we're going to do wheat." So she would like, supposedly it was supposed to help, but it didn't help. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say is that it's called NAET. I'm not going to ever say that it doesn't work or that it's completely bunk science, because I've only seen one practitioner try it and one child, which is my son. So that's, I can't base it all on that, but it's, here, does NAET work for allergies? It provides permanent relief from allergies and is life altering to most people with chronic illness, allows them to reclaim their lives. But again, I don't know if it's even it must work, I'm guessing. But I also believe in the placebo effect so much. I really
me
think
too.
we're so much,
Totally.
we're so capable of healing all our own issues. So
Yes.
if you go into that event thinking it's going to work for you, then you could be curing yourself, which is probably the strength that we have. And these people just take advantage of it.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. No, because all the books that I've been doing it to my own children, and I see a huge difference in them. I just been like cleaning out their, their chakras and stuff like that.
Right.
But I do notice a big difference in them. Like, I also took them out of school, so that's like huge.
Huge.
But I think it is helping, like they haven't had like the easiest life, so far, but we're not supposed to. So, but I'm just saying, I think it's helping them release, whatever they have to.
Yeah, and I'd be open to taking Maverick back when he's old enough to at least
I was
do
going
it
to say,
himself,
yeah, I think,
rather than have
I
to
think-
sit there because he just doesn't even know what's going on. And who knows if
Yeah.
his body's really responding, or if maybe Missa feels a certain way, like she thinks he's allergic to that, so she's weakening up or something.
Right.
Again, it's
right.
it's
I
not
would
the
say
same.
it would work better on the actual person.
I would think so,
you know?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But my husband and I, Grant, he has a name. We have,
Thank you.
last night were.
Most husbands do.
Yeah. I always just call him my husband. So we were just watching, we were trying to find something to watch last night, and this cute little old lady came up, and her name was Dolores Cannon, right?
Yeah,
Have
I
you
knew
ever
something
heard
was
of
coming
her?
up. I was like, I'm not gonna type
Yeah.
anything in.
My
How is
husband was like, it was weird, and Jaren, it like the video like came to us, okay?
Okay,
And she
and
was
the name
talking
sounds
about,
familiar.
like, she's really cute. I mean, she has some like, like planet stuff to talk about and stuff, but I feel like yeah, like it's not something she believes, I don't think. I think she's is careful with her words so she can speak, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But she's talking about like the 3 waves of humans who, signed their contract to come here to help make a difference, on the earth. And it's like all of us, like that were born at like the same time, like me and my husband, like we're like the second wave, and our parents were the first wave.
Like the 70s to the 90s.
Yeah, it was like from the 70s to the 90s. And then our children, like like Maverick and like my 4 children would be like the rainbow children. And, they are super special, the rainbow children. She's saying that they came to just spread pure love, to the earth. She's saying we had the hardest time, like our generation, we had the hardest time adjusting to earth. So our parents were like, my kid's weird, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And my parents were like that totally. Like anytime I would say something like, I've started remembering stuff. I told you, I just stopped taking Suboxone like maybe
Right.
6 weeks ago. My memories are like starting to come back. It's freaking crazy. Like I'll just remember stuff and I'm like, oh my God, like my parents like totally buried my spirit. They really did. They were just like, no, you're like with this group of friends, or you're a gymnast, or you're this, or you're, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
just trying to like hide like who I was. I was something special. I was telling them stuff. Like, I think I had like a really strong instinct when I was little. I think that was like my special power, that I would like know situations or was I manifesting them? I don't know.
Right.
But
I wish I
but
had
do
that. I was just
remember.
flooded with religion. So
Yes. And my parents always were like, well, you go watch this saint and this saint. And that's why you feel this. That's why you seen this, because you were watching, your favorite Saint Bernadette over there, or Saint John Newman. Like they were always taking me to like see the saints, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I used to
don't
have to
know.
pray to certain saints. Like if I lost something, it would be Saint Anthony. If it was
Yep.
an animal, Saint Francis. It was like really weird.
I had all the saint books. Like I would always carry them with me. Like I was like obsessed.
I
Crazy.
used to have to pray every night, and like for a while, my mom would like sit there next to me. But I remember like praying for health of certain people who would just die. I was like, oh, well, that was that was really worth me praying. Maybe I didn't do it right. It's like, God, please bless my Aunt Jay. She's getting really sick, and then like find out 2 days later she's dead. You're like, great, that worked well.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. Like, did we like know that we weren't, supposed to be praying to those people? I don't know. That's how I feel like now. Like I kind of remember like, like knowing it was wrong, but like knowing I had a God, like somebody to call to, but like my parents were like, no, worship this God. Like, and I
know.
just, I don't, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I just
This
for me
lady
it was
has a
I was
bunch
like
of good stuff to say.
I'm gonna look her up. Dolores Cannon, that's her channel name.
He listened to the KRZ song.
Yeah, and my husband wants you to know if you like KRS-One.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants to know like the God song.
Yeah.
And yep.
Ride.
And Ride. He wants you to listen to that. And Miracle. He wants you to listen to that.
Miracle doesn't sound familiar. I'll look that one up.
Yeah, that one's, but it's like basically like when you tie it all together, it's like what this lady's saying too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do believe in the idea that we maybe choose to come here as, individual pieces of the creator or whatever, that we go down with a mission or something.
When you go back.
that's what she says. Yeah, that's what she says when you go back. And yep. And she says that
you download your information.
Yeah, you download your information into God that you obtained while you were here. That's why we're here.
Right.
Yeah, like all little pieces of.
You were all little pieces of God. Yep.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense. And then it makes more sense to me when you talk about judgment, that we are each judged by God in the end, because we are, God knows our intimate details because it is us. So it's like funny that you're going to judge yourself when you die.
Right. Of course.
Right. It's only because you're the only one who knows. It's not like you'll have another God will be sitting at a throne and he'll be like, here's what you did and here's what you didn't do. You know, you're God. You know what you did, and you can't hide from yourself. So you might just get one look at yourself and go, oh, son of a bitch, I'm going back, aren't I? Yep. All right, here we go. So, because you didn't do well, you didn't fight through whatever we were supposed to learn here. But I think that it could be too, like, imagine if you are just pure bliss, like that might get bored. You might be like,
yeah,
maybe, so we look at that like, okay, I could be up here in pure bliss where there's no problems, there's no issues or anything. But occasionally after a certain amount, maybe you're like, you know what? I want to go back down to earth. Maybe I do want some pain and suffering. Maybe I do want some, because it's not pure bliss. So I've always said that before. I've always said, how could there be heaven? It would have to be 100% pure greatness, everything. And then what real fun is that? Like if my friends and I go golfing, I said, we'd all shoot 18. Who's going to choose to shoot 19? Who's going to say, oh, I got a 2 on hole 7? No, I didn't. I kicked it in the hole. So, I mean, it becomes kind of this, like, if everything's just great, things are only great because things suck. That's why things are great.
She says that. She says there's no good or evil. There's like learning.
I definitely I've heard people say that, and I disagree with that. I do think that you can.
I do.
I even think you could do so bad here that you probably cease to exist. So there is a difference between good and bad. I don't think you could do so good that you cease to exist, but I think you could, if you're just a murderer or a rapist or something, I don't think you go back to source and go, oh, I didn't do well, I'm going to go back again. I think that you might just cease to exist.
Get cut off.
Yep. You go to sleep and that's it. You sleep forever.
Right. She like gets the information too by like putting people in
like hypnosis.
Yeah, hypnosis.
I want to I want somebody to do that to me just because
I know.
I do now.
Now we do. We're like, come on.
I don't think I'm hypnotizable, but I've seen it proven to me that it works for sure. And there's no way this is like a scam or anything like that. What happened was when I was 16, my parents went to Reno. And of course you have to be 21 to gamble, so I couldn't gamble. But they're like, we'll buy you a show, whatever night you want to go to a show while we gamble. So the very first night I saw there's this hypnotist, and I was like, okay, I'll go to the show. So these tables up at the front were like tables of 6, all these tables of 6. But this one table had a family, mom, dad, 2 sisters, and a brother. And then because there's an open chair at the table, they sat me there with them. So that was all. I was at a table of 6 with this family of 5 and myself. So before the event, the guy kept saying that one of the kids kept saying, I want to go up there. They were like, if you want to come over here and we'll interview you. So I want to go up there. I want to go up there. They're like, no, don't go up there. And he kept saying he wanted to. And then he just got up and left and went up there. And they're like, Johnny, oh, but stupid Johnny or whatever. So he gets up. He ends up making it on the stage. He's actually one of the 12. And actually he ended up being the final one. He ended up being the one that was walking across coals, burning coals with barefoot. He like bridged himself between 2 chairs and people walked across his back. It was insane. And his parents the whole time were so afraid. They were literally shaking when he was walking across these coals. And I knew, I was like, this is not fake. Like that guy is hypnotized and he's doing that stuff and his parents are really worried about him. And then he came back. So the guy's like, you're going to go back and sit down and not remember that you did any of this until you see it on the screen. So they send him back. I mean, he sits right next to me at this table and he's sitting right there and he's like, just sitting there and his parents are like looking at him like, did you see what you just did? He's like, huh? Like, and then the guy comes out, he's like, oh, so let's give a hand of applause to this guy. Everybody's clapping for him. He's kind of looking around, kind of like doesn't understand what's going on. And then he's like, we want to show you what just happened. They put it on the big screen and this kid is amazed. He's like probably 16, 17, but he's just in awe. And I knew right then, I was like, oh, that's absolutely real. Everything I just saw was real. There's no way he's pretending. There's no way that his family knew about it, or he's some sort of actor put into the crowd, because nobody else would have had that intimate experience except for me. Like it would have had to been just for me.
She like talks to whatever that is. That
Yeah.
does that. Basically.
It's
she like
crazy.
speaks to that and it gives her information, she says,
Really?
and that's where she spreads it through the world.
She says it like says her name, like her name. Sometimes.
Yeah, her name.
And she says there's all this crazy stuff about like genetic modifying that she can't even talk about.
She had us like
Wow.
in tears.
Like,
She had us have some tears coming out of our eyes earlier, like when she was talking about the rainbow children, how special they were and stuff. Because I see that in my kids, totally.
Dolores
Like,
Cannon,
they
and
are
that might be
just
why
here for a mission.
they're just feeding him all the TikTok stuff. They're just really trying to.
I was going to say, and
Get
look
that
how
stuff out
hard
of it.
they're pushing stuff for them, like to kill their attention span and kill everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and then she says a lot about dreams too, like how we astro travel because our spirit has work to do. Only our body has to sleep. It's not our spirit that has to sleep.
Correct.
So when we sleep, our spirit, she says it's like held on by some silver string.
It's funny. I've
or
like
something
read
like
some of
that.
the books that she has. I think.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
Yeah, I seen
recognize
that
some
on
of those.
Daydreamers.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm recognizing some of those ideas.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We put you on the list in case you win the award.
And the videos are from like 2011.
Yeah, the videos, yeah. I'll call next week and see how you.
Sounds good. I'll look her up,
went.
Dolores Cannon.
Okay, all right, awesome.
Peace, Sarah.
Talk to you, Aaron. Bye.
And Grant, not husband.
Yeah, both of us.
Later. Caleb, welcome to the show. Caleb, are you there? Is that the Caleb? Caleb, you're listening to the show. You have to. All right, we'll get to him in 1 second.
Yes, sir.
You got to turn off the show.
Sorry.
Turn off YouTube. Were you taking a nap?
No. I'm actually watching your stream, just scrolling through TikTok.
Good old TikTok.
I was waiting to come on.
Welcome to the
What's
show.
going on, man?
Everybody knows you. Caleb is Caleb, and you're going to be on my show Tuesday, I think, right?
Yes, sir. We will be there.
Sweet.
I actually wanted to come on here and see if you'd consider coming on the podcast maybe next week if you could make it.
Absolutely. What day you want to do that?
Wednesday. We record Wednesday, but if a better day works for you, we
That's
could
probably best
record
for me.
Thursday, but
That's probably
Wednesday's
best.
good for you?
Yeah, so the day after we do our show?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be cool.
Wednesday the 8th.
Yeah, I wanted to come on here and invite you onto the podcast. I think that'd be.
And what do you think
really
about you
interesting
and you and Derek want to join for the NASA Comedy Hour? We'll just watch some old NASA tapes and have some good laughs.
Yeah. Is that what we're gonna do on the 7th, or is that a different day?
No, that's the 7th. Because I usually do
that's
do an
cool,
interview,
dude.
but we'll just do it. It's my normal NASA Comedy Hour time slot. So we'll just do that, and we'll just kind of make it a little bit longer than the hour. And then
Dude,
people
I'm
get to
just
know you
happy
guys
to
and
be
we'll have
on
fun.
The Jeranism show in general.
Well, we had fun. Remember when we did the astronaut thing? That was fun. We never did it again, but it was fun for the first time.
That
At
was
lunch.
fun. We should do that again. I forgot about that. That was hilarious, bro.
It was good times.
People loved that, man.
Yeah, people do. It's like my number one video as far as views in the last while.
Dude, yeah, let's do it again. If it helped with the views, I'll hop on anytime. Derek really wants to hop on with me. We're kind of like trying to keep it as a team thing.
Nice.
So yeah, I that'd be freaking hilarious, dude. That was awesome last time we did that. So
I love some of his
definitely.
stuff. It's going to be great to see you guys. If you guys don't know, both him and Derek are going to be presenting at the summit. And like I said, they'll be with me on Tuesday. And then I'll do your guys' podcast on what is your podcast? What's the website?
It's www.unearthing5dreality.com. I usually just link people to my link tree and my TikTok, but obviously I can't do that here. But yeah, if you actually are trying to look for the server, the independent server that we run it off of, it's unearthing5dreality.com. So we
Nice.
just like to, debunk the dinos, debunk the globe, debunk the evolution. We have some terrain theory talks on there. So we're trying to do
Where's
it
your
all.
opinion of that? Viruses, terrain theory, where are you at with that?
Oh man, that was weird. We did 2 episodes on it, and I don't know, man. I kind of I like because my understanding of terrain theory, it's kind of like your environment, or it's kind of like a frequency, right? That's passed, and that's how you get sick. That's basically where I came to it. Unless you have a better explanation. with
No,
it.
I just think, but like viruses, you're kind of over that idea.
I wouldn't say I am. I'm in a weird spot with it, bro. I've listened to all the Crow episodes with that they've had on with Andrew Kaufman and stuff like that. But like I've had personal experience where like I have extended family come over to my house and I get the exact same sickness as them. So it seems like something's being transferred, whether it's quote unquote a virus or
Right.
a germ or whatever it is, it seems like there is something being translated from peer to peer.
Yeah, I just think that I used to believe it was this little thing in the air or something that travels, or but it's not even living. They don't even claim it's. They just tell us that it replicates and does these, but it's not a living thing. So it's how is it traveling? And then I really started thinking about some of these viruses that happened, say the Black Plague or something. I mean, humanity would have been wiped out if there was some sort of before medicine. I mean, before.
Yeah, no, I'm with you with that. I'm with you on that, like the plague and like the COVID. Obviously, I'm with you on that.
Or like why are those things seasonal? Right.
Yeah, it might be, but like things.
Well,
like
those are bacterial, right?
Can't explain,
but that's bacterial, I think.
Maybe, maybe. I'm totally willing to learn. Obviously, I'm willing. To
it's always opening to me too. I like to hear all these new things, these new ideas. But I think that there is nobody's claiming bacteria doesn't live. Bacteria is very real, and that can get you sick. So
that makes sense. I don't think that we brought that topic up on the podcast. Maybe we'll have to revisit it. I'd love to have Amanda Vollmer on. I haven't even reached out to her, but I should try to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's open to doing that. Yeah, she's great. She's on Telegram.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll message her and try to get her on, because that's kind of where me and Derek came to it. Like we had a couple people on, and then we kind of just were like, well, I don't really know what the hell's going on here. So that's kind of where I'm at.
It makes me, I love anything that kind of frees me a little bit. And I feel much better now not believing that there is these flying germs or these flying viruses that are going to attack me or something.
It's just like asteroids, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
People all the time that message me and they're like, man, I used to be so scared of asteroids, and now that I know that we're on a topographical plane with a hard, fast barrier, I don't have to be scared of it. My whole family's not going to die. I'm like, yay.
The best thing for me was that the time I went and flew in a plane, because I've always been afraid of flying. Not afraid like it ever stopped me from flying. It's just not my most pleasurable experience. And when I first went to the North Carolina conference, which would have been 2017, the first Flat Earth conference, we're driving to the airport. My wife's like, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. I feel good for some reason. She goes, you're not nervous? I'm like, no. Got to the airport, wasn't nervous. Got on the plane, wasn't nervous. Took off, like, holy shit, I'm not afraid of flying anymore. It just went away, because now it's like I'm flying over a flat plane. I don't have to worry about, we're upside down, we're sideways on the globe, and it's flying through space. And how is this plane even staying up? So
the flat Earth, the true Earth, once you come to it, it really simplifies things in life.
Absolutely.
I really wanted to, I actually came on here to get an explanation. I heard you in Austin talking about how the ether wind or the magnetic field that is over our Earth travels at 17,500 miles an hour. Can you talk about that for a second and re-explain that to me? Or would we need Austin here?
No, I was going to give you kind of my opinion of it. So it looks like when they did the Michelson-Morley experiment, when I first heard about it, I knew that they call it a null result, right? Which is the equivalent of them saying basically there was no speed detected. But that's not actually the truth. The truth was that the speed that they detected was far less than they expected. And it was about 17,500 miles per hour, which is weird because we didn't really realize that until we kind of went back and looked at these after tests. And that's what they kept coming up with. And they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How, we can't be traveling 17,500 miles per hour.
Wait, are you saying the interferometry that they used in the Michelson-Morley experiment picked up an ether drift of 17,000 miles per hour through the fringe shift?
Correct.
Of the apparatus?
Yes.
So that's what was causing the tiny little, but how do we get to 17,500 miles an hour?
It was a certain amount of, whatever that is in seconds, meters per second. So, just calculated out comes out to 17,500 miles per hour, which isn't really. So there's the two tests, though. I'm trying to remember which one, because one of them came back at about, I don't want to give the wrong answer there. I'll have to wait and talk to Austin.
No, you're good.
Because I can't remember which test it was that came back with the, none of them came back with like a sidereal day either, right? So there's nothing that said the spin of the Earth. There was nothing that said, 1,100 miles per hour or 1,000 miles per hour. It was like set, so they just called it like an anomaly, basically. Like it was just off. So they've called it a null result because it didn't get the calculation that they wanted or that they were looking for. So they just assumed it was like, the apparatus didn't. But the apparatus was so precise that it could have gotten down to like basically a mile per hour. It was like really super.
It was like 100 times more sensitive than it needed to be, or something like
that.
Right,
exactly. So then when you go back and look at it now, they couldn't really mention the speed it was because I guess maybe people would have caught on to it or something. So I think what what I mean, how funny is this? My favorite one is the hands of a watch. That if they would have put 24 hours on a hands of a watch, people would have looked at it and go, wait a second, the sun just moves around in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So they just fooled us by making two 12s, and we're fucking dumbasses. The two 12s hid it from us. I mean, this is how stupid we are. Two 12s makes it complete. We're oblivious to the fact that the sun goes around the earth in 24 hours, and that you can actually, that's why when people say, oh, time zones prove the globe, it's like, what are you talking about? Time zones are the simplest thing in the world with the flat earth. The sun just goes around in 24 hours. Very simple.
It hurts.
Wherever
dude.
it's above,
Dude,
that's noon.
I don't know how much you're going on to TikTok and seeing the debates that are going on there. Like, dude, the fallacious arguments that these people are like saying we can see the flag on the moon.
Oh, they'll try
They're
anything.
grasping at anything to try to mislead people, bro. It's so bad over on TikTok. I keep getting people because I've been telling. I literally shout out you and Austin. I shout out your guys' Globebusters episode every Sunday. I try to tell people to subscribe to you guys and send traffic over to Austin because I'm not gonna lie, I'm like the biggest Austin fan in the world.
Yeah, he's
Austin's
awesome.
the dude to me. I can't believe the plethora amount of topics that he can argue. Just
I know it's so nice to have him like
specific about.
a message away if I ever have like a question. Austin,
Yeah, right.
It's just great to have.
Yeah.
But
I wish I was higher on the priority list for Austin, but unfortunately I'm not. I just patiently wait for my messages from him. I just beg him for like lectures and stuff like that. But I've come so far from learning about Austin that I know that the whole True Earth community can come even further from people like you and people like Austin that have been in this 5 or 6 years, where people like me, I've only been studying this for like a year and 7 months, year and 6 months. And I'm just trying to play catch up with you guys because I graduated in 2015 and I was in high school, just, worrying about real life stuff when everybody was finding out about all this. So
did you hear about it in school?
No, bro,
No,
dude.
not at all.
No. The first time I heard about Flat Earth, I swear to God, it was a David Wise video. I don't know how it popped up. It was like fate or something, but like Flat Earth Dave video popped up like a podcast or an interview. And I was like, what? People think the earth is flat? Like
Idiots.
seriously? Like I thought it was just satire. Like I was convinced, like, dude, what they're doing in the public education system now with this generation, bro, they are brainwashing these fools, man.
Absolutely.
I thought gravity was a fact. I thought evolution was a fact. They were showing me Neanderthal skulls and stuff like that, saying that like they'd found the missing link, bro. Like what they're doing in the public schools now is sick, bro. And that's why when I found out the truth and I found out that these things were like orangutan skulls mixed with humans, jaw lines and stuff like that, and that you find out all the stuff like about Otabanga, where they took this dude out of the Congo and put him in a freaking zoo and labeled him in between stage of monkeys and humans, like the sick shit that these people have done. Once I found out like that they're just being fallacious and they are trying to just mislead people and convince people that we evolved from sponges and amoebas, I was like, oh no, bro, I gotta speak up.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever. And the fact is, if you ask any normal person, they'll say, no, evolution is a fact. They wouldn't even have any idea that there's no species ever gone to another species, or just how do you have things that gain more intelligence in time? It's like nothing else works that way.
Entropy in and of itself just destroys the evolution argument. It destroys the idea that the stars would realign every 365 days, that Polaris would be named Polaris, which means pole star sits in the same spot in the sky.
Or some of these stupid
billion miles a year.
Why aren't the fish wanting to grow legs now? They're over it. They're like, nah, our cousins evolved. We're
Jaron,
good.
that takes hundreds of millions of years, Jaron.
Hundreds of hundreds of billions. I mean, it's just so stupid.
Dude, it's crazy. It's really I would say it's discouraging, but it's not, because what I'm seeing on TikTok, and I'm sure what you're seeing now, is people are so open to these conversations now. People are being they're kind of snapping out and realizing that they have to look at these things logically. Like, are you familiar? I'm sure you're familiar with Mind Shock.
Yeah, he's great,
dude. I've been studying his content. My girlfriend's literally been making me flashcards and stuff like that to learn fallacies. I'm trying to be like a mini Austin, bro. I'm gonna try to get there over time.
Yeah, it's the fallacies thing is important. I guess
seriously,
it made me think twice now when I debate. I'm just very careful about what I say. Try to be clear, not try and think to myself before it's any kind of fallacy. So it's helped me a little bit. But I think that the other thing that they're doing with school children is there's this new feeling, and I think it goes for us as well, that you have to have a replacement theory to debunk another theory, which is a scary place to go, right? Because what it does is it makes it so that if you tell a good enough lie, that it can just never be supplanted, because the person who's calling it a lie would have to supplant it with better information, which again, so this is why these guys always say, well, then how does the sun and moon stay up in the sky? It's like, dude, I don't know. And that'll never be figured out until everybody on Earth is looking into it.
That's what
consider
we've got to be. We've got to be intellectually honest, and we've got to say,
Right.
just like Austin says, just like Mindshock says, falsification is independent of replacement.
Correct.
So we can falsify that the moon's not a freaking dusty rock because we're seeing through it during the day. We've pictured stars through it, literally, and we don't have to say whether it's made of cheese or plasma. We're just falsifying that it's a dusty rock out in the sky floating around us, perfectly tidally locked gravitationally for us to never see the other side. We're just falsifying the mainstream narrative. That doesn't require a replacement, because we don't have, like we've said before, we don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. We don't have hundreds of scientists backing our model, putting money into it. We don't have cartographers going out, measuring the shorelines, creating us a map. That's why all maps are distorted. So it's just a matter of logic. It's just a matter of people actually looking at this logical and realizing that this has been labeled in a fashion to where it's just looked at like stupid. Like, you're a flat earther, you're just dumb. Look at what Barack Obama was doing when he did his speeches. He was literally painting into the minds of everybody that the lowest form of life was a flat earther.
Right. And I think it's important too, for like, one thing I think we may have done bad is when you go after scientists or you go after teachers, a lot of people know a teacher, know a scientist. And so they get very defensive about that, because they're like, I know this guy, he's not fooling, he's not lying to people. So you have to be very careful to tell people that, no, there isn't teachers that are lying to students. I don't believe that there really is teachers like that. I believe that teachers are good people. Teachers who want to teach children. I mean, what's more admirable than that? I'm going to wake up every day, I'm going to go to a school, and I'm going to teach children to be smart. Well, the problem is it's just that what's in the lesson plans is not the truth. But none of those teachers, and very few, half of 1%, are like actually knowing what they're teaching is not true. So I think when we do that, we do it a disservice by saying, or all these scientists are lying. Well, people are like, I know a scientist. They're the last person who would lie. And sometimes that might be true, but the problem is that they've been fooled themselves.
Well, they don't realize that that's a logical fallacy in and of itself. That's an appeal to extreme.
Right.
Appealing, like assuming that we think that every single scientist in the world is a liar. No. We think every single scientist in the world has gone to college and paid to be indoctrinated.
Exactly.
They've paid, and this is literally admitted if you just look at what's logically happening to the textbooks in the colleges. They're changed every 6 months. But the current one that we've got right now, it's gospel.
Right.
It's like the Bible. It is gospel. It's God's word. But then they'll change it in 6 months and act like it's totally cool. Just like they changed the distance to Polaris 100 miles in 2010, 100 light years in 2010.
That's why I think they love us arguing against them, because what it allows them to do is to find the holes in the arguments and then fill them in. Right. So if we put up enough fight about something, then they'll just go and they'll make it correct. Somebody at some point said, well, the Polaris star's there. And they're, oh shit, we better go. Well, every 27,000 years, actually, it makes a little circle, so they've got to have these answers. I mean, I think that the whole 23 hours, 56 minutes was a very recent addition, because somebody pointed out that we'd be facing the other way. And they're like, oh shit, we got to fix that. So then if it's 2356 and it keeps coming around, this is why, in 1984, he asks Winston, what do you think, it's impossible for the mathematicians and astrologers to create a dual system of astrology or astronomy where either the stars are a great distance away or they're right above us? Like, we can do either. And that's the truth. With mathematics, you can do either. Either one can work out. That was Edwin
Hubble, right?
No, that was I'm talking about Huxley from 1984. Orwell, sorry.
I need that one. I need that one for in my pictures and my comments, so I can make a video on it.
Let me see if
it's
I
funny,
have it.
man.
Orwell.
It's crazy once you read all the comments from physicists admitting that this is all just a philosophical mindset. And
you've seen the principle, right?
Principle.
Yeah, you've seen that.
Yeah.
So here's what he says here. So I'll read you this part. It says, I love this whole chapter, is really good to display. So he says, this is talking about evolution too. Talking about nothing exists except for through human consciousness. He says, but the rocks are full of bones of extinct animals, mammoths and mastodons and enormous reptiles which lived long here before man was ever heard of. He says, have you ever seen those bones, Winston? Of course not. 19th century biologists invented them. Before man, there was nothing. After man, if he could come to an end, there would be nothing. Outside of man, there is nothing. But the whole universe is outside of us. Look at the stars. Some of them are a million light years away. They're out of our reach forever. What are the stars? Said O'Brien indifferently. They are bits of fire a few kilometers away. We could reach them if we wanted to, or we could blot them out. The Earth is the center of the universe. The sun and the stars go around it. Winston made another convulsive movement. This time he didn't say anything. O'Brien continued as though answering a spoken objection. He said, for certain purposes, of course, that is not true. When we navigate the ocean or when we predict an eclipse, we often find it convenient to assume that the Earth goes around the sun and that the stars are millions upon millions of kilometers away. But what of it? Do you suppose it's beyond us to produce a dual system of astronomy? The stars can either be near or distant according to how we need them. Do you suppose our mathematicians are unequal to that? Have you forgotten doublethink? So, great part of that, what I believe is very true. That's exactly what's going on. And these guys who had the inner track, they knew it. This guy was a Mason. He was involved in them. He knew what was going on. But I tried to warn us. So,
yeah, I've been really looking into the stars and how I'm making sense of it and stuff like that, and redshift, blue shift. And I feel like if everybody took time to actually invest in a telescope, $200-$300, you don't even need a huge one like a 6-inch, 3-inch telescope, and you see that these stars, a lot of them, they're not giving off a red color, they're not giving off a blue color consistently, like what they say is happening with redshift, blue shift. I have videos of stars that are like shape shifting, bro. They go from like yellow to red to green to blue.
Yeah, they're
so
awesome.
when they're saying that we can tell by the wavelengths that they're expanding away from us, it's like a straight up lie. I feel like all of
I don't think
my
it's true either. Like I
observations-
said, I've never seen a galaxy moving away from me. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So
No, well, they say that it's like with the Doppler effect, kind of like that, with the redshift, like you'll see like a red tint to it.
see, but we've
There's
never seen
nothing-
that.
that
Show
does
us that.
happen.
Yeah, show us that. I want to see that first.
Show
If you
us
want to
that.
see,
Show me it. Yeah,
if you want to see that exact little pattern that you see with the stars, take a bowl of water, get a glass bowl, go outside with a bowl of water right now when it's
Star in
sunny
the
out,
jar.
and watch what happens on the floor.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
I got to
and
let you
that-
go because I got one person after you, and then I got to get off the show.
You're
But-
good. I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
The one thing that drives me crazy is seeing McToon say that we can't celestially navigate on the flat Earth. That drives me straight up the firmament. I had to say that before I leave.
God, that guy. Oh, he's
Crazy, bro. Insane. Later, man.
All right, later. Taj, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, Jeranism?
How are you?
Good. Been following you for a bit here. Man, my biggest curiosity lately is with the curvature of the Earth and seeing the northern lights. I mean, what is the curvature? Been trying to figure out the explanation for that.
Well, I don't know how high. Do we know how high up they are?
Well, that's an interesting fact too. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, I would have to. I mean, I don't even know if they're. You could. Is it more like a rainbow that you can't actually locate?
Yeah, it's interesting though. It does make me ponder though. I did want to send you a little video though, bro, of just some music I put together with those dancing stars that we never see from NASA.
Okay.
By amateur astronomers. So I figured I'd just throw it in the section here. But supporter of your work, brother. Keep on pushing.
Thanks. Where did you say you put it?
Is there a chat right in the stream? Or correct?
Yeah, there's one right here, but I don't see any links.
Oh, I'm just gonna boom. I just put it in right now. It's just kind of I've been doing hip hop for a while. I have a nonprofit. I work with students. Our mission statement is empowering through creative expression to foster critical thinking and emotional intelligence. That's the only thing I can do anymore as far as like holding. But I used to hold a sign up, didn't do anything. Became a clinical social worker and decided to start working with the youth through poetry to help kids critically think and to see the world around them.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, I figured I'd just send you this video. But I do peep in and see you continually, pushing the truth, at least what we see, and what we see compared to what they give us. It's quite fascinating. Do you feel that more people are waking up? Do you think that we're moving towards a critical mass, like kind of 12 monkey syndrome style?
Yeah, I think we're on the way, because first step of that has to be seeing people actually know what's going on, right? You can't even begin to fathom other truths if you don't know that there's even questions. So I think that what's been important, and do I wish it took a lot less than the 8 years it's taken? Yes, but I just see more people that are willing to question things. And there are people who dig their feet in or are taking solid positions, but think of how bad the globe propagandists have been. Like, think about it. If you're really somebody who's out there who's like, yeah, flat earth is dumb and it's been disproven, you go looking, you're going to find Professor Dave and some dorks. Like, there's just nobody. Where's the big scientists? Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye coming out and actually doing a good job of debunking this? They're not. There's nobody. They don't have anybody.
Yeah. It's
So
just deflection. It
yeah,
just seems to be going
and I
off
think
the
people
old
see that.
platform.
People are looking for like, oh, squash this, make it easy. And so the more that you put out some of this stuff, like I've seen people send me that there's a video of a guy that with a bike who supposedly measures the distance to the sun or something, or the curvature of the earth. And I point out, I'm like, yeah, do you realize that the same results would happen if we had a low close sun? I'm sorry, a small close sun. And when they hear these things, then they're kind of like, oh, wait, what? So when you point out that just they, the lie of like the water going down the opposite direction on each side of the equator. Many people have seen that test and they'll just swear by it. They'll say, I've seen somebody, they do the test, they go to one side and then the other side. It's like, yeah, then now look it up. It's a known hoax that they just make money. They pour it down the sink the different direction. So when people start hearing that and they start going, wait, we were lied to get the truth across. When you show them those Antarctic videos that have been faked, that wakes people up. Why would you fake that? You start asking that question of what would they, okay, we either went to the moon, great, or we didn't, but think of what it did to the psyche of people. Just the fact that we were told we went to the moon convinces you in your head that people can live on a ball in space. That's, oh, well, those guys went there. We don't know where they landed on the side of it, but they were standing upright. So that means that they're, okay, then I could understand why the earth is that way and we can stand upside or sideways on it. As soon as you take that away from them and say, could it have been faked? Then they start having to ask that question of, wait a second.
And then the last thing I wanted to say is, like, from a spiritual perspective, people go, well, what does it matter if it's round or it's flat? But my judgment has always been like, if you're tricked to believe that you're living on something, then you're truly not tuned into your creator or where you came from.
Absolutely.
It's an easy way to just manipulate, make you believe that you're living on is something not, and then you're all malleable from there.
Right. And they do it with everything, right? Like with shoes, right? You wear shoes, so you're not connected to the ground. The terrible manufactured food that we get, that has no, source elements or no source minerals. So that's garbage. The water that we drink, just crap water now at this point, with unless you distill it or unless you get spring water. So like every single avenue that's possible, they are retarding our connection with source.
So one last question for you, brother. How do you keep it up and stay on the front lines? I mean, I can only imagine. It's just it seems like you have to be, be getting some attacks here and there from the establishment or whatnot as you broadcast your message. How do you continue to just stay on the forefront and keep yourself in the trenches?
I don't think there's really much of an option. I mean, again, I think that they do a good job of making sure people can't do this and make a lot of money. Because that's the way that you keep it unattractive to people. So there's nobody at home who's saying like, oh, I'm watching what Jaron does and I want to do what he's doing. Most people recognize, well, Jaron's always struggling. He's having to answer these people are saying this, these people saying that. He's having to sell hats every single show. So, I mean, people kind of get to this place where they don't see it as an attractive option. So I do think they do that on purpose. But the people who do it, we have to ignore comments for the most part. It sucks. You wish you could conversate with people more than you can. You can't answer emails anymore as much as you used to. You have to kind of know something's coming to go look for it. So it just becomes what's most important, I think, getting the information out. Could I spend more time answering emails or something? Is that really going to get as much traction? I don't know. So I'm just doing it and I do think when you talk about like, why haven't they taken me out or taken me down, is I think that that would be bigger for them than just having somebody who kind of talks to a small group, right? How many people do I get watching my shows now? Like nobody, 5,000, 10,000 people. So to them, that's such an inconsequential number that it's that. Hey, thank you for the super chat. We've got Claptrap, $20, The Mask, Mick Foley, Mankind, The Undertaker, Bret Hart, NWO, Federation, had some Illuminati playing cards. Thank you very much, Claptrap. So I just think that this is like their method of keeping people, like they want somebody who people can point at and call crazy, right? So they don't want the guy who, for instance, when I had that experiment or test or observation and then the movie uses it against me, at this point, like if they were to do anything to me, that's actually worse for them. Because then people could start saying, hey, that flat earther that the movie showed proved curve, he's dead now. So that's going to cause more people to go, what happened? Look into it. Whereas if it's just, I'm that crazy guy who proved curve in the movie, that's actually good for them. See what I'm saying? That it's actually.
It certainly takes a lot of courage. I have to say that. I mean, I perform on stage, I do different things, but the level of what you're doing takes a lot of courage. So, man, kudos to you, my brother.
Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. You do have to have some balls. I do agree.
Scene. Blessings, bro.
Anything else for me?
No, I think that wraps it up. I've been wanting to just kind of touch base. Oh, one last thing.
I'm gonna play your movie. Don't worry.
We talk about these ley lines and these grid lines, and we talk about the ancient past and how things have been hidden from us. How these megalithic structures line up. Sometimes I believe that with this critical mass awakening, there's people out there that are actually doing the spiritual work, that are actually in touch with Pachamama or Mother Earth. And they're spreading the energy to the ones that are receptive, that are actually to transmute. And that to me is conscious evolution, conscious revolution, and I'll forever be an eternal optimist.
Well said.
One last thing: have you thought at all about the reincarnation soul trap that's been floating around? The theoretical orientation that this is that the archons are controlling the system, and that we are reborn back into the system. We go to the light, and boom, we're
yeah, I have. I've given it a lot of thought, just in case I were to expire anytime. But my thought will be to just be not afraid, and to not. I don't think the idea. I know that they say like, oh, your parents will be there, your mom will be there, or something. I don't. Yeah, I think I would be able to stay away from that.
Fascinating times, brother. Keep
yes.
it up. Blessings.
All right, later. Did somebody else join? Nobody else join, please. We're all done now. Oh, no, they didn't. All right, see ya. Okay, so I wanted to show you, what are we looking at? That. We're going to watch this video real quick, but I'm going to have you guys vote right now, so don't vote yet because I don't want to have to count, but you're going to be voting. Just put one number, please. If you put any more than one number or a number above 12 or a 0, your vote will not count. It just needs to be one number, 1 through 12. Who's going to win the ticket? So go ahead and start voting whenever you want. And I'm going to play this music. I'll be back and I'll kind of keep tabs of the score real quick and we'll go from there. So here's the music and go ahead and start your voting. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes or 3 minutes and 45 seconds. We're going to be watching some stars, I believe. Here we go. Enjoy.
History books today, incredulous shades of gray doubt comes into play. Education, astrology, forbidden archaeology, geology, philosophy, ideology, psychology, confusion of the masses. Engineer the classes, opiate the masses. Ashes to ashes, death and taxes. Dust to dust, and God we trust. Wake up, know thyself, metaphor and story. The hero's journey, myth and allegory. The prodigal son, optimize attention, improve efficiency, fighting for ascension. Daily life, shadow work and sacrifice in search of truth, happily to pay the price. Eternal, the earth walk we choose. In the silence of the heart, contemplating all the clues.
When the storms roll in, what you gonna do? How you gonna fly? How you gonna push through? When you're all alone, feeling lost and alone, nothing seems familiar, for it's all in the unknown.
Steps taken, steps, this is a test. Contracts, reboots, resets, what's next? This life, navigate the maze. Lifelines, lifetimes, new chapter, new page. No pain, no gain, earth walking the plane. Get your bearings on, overstand the game. A path of heart, power leaks and power sinks. On the battlefield, field of think, sink and link. The path is narrow, the perils, swords and arrows. New moon intention, magician in the terror. Life and death is nothing new to us. Birth walk to waking up, knee deep in the cuts. Out the cycles, busted ruts, bolts and nuts. The mystery of the rhythm and the path we trust. And at the end, awaken, restoration, experience lifetimes of integration.
When the storms roll in, what you gonna do? How you gonna fly? How you gonna push through? When you're all alone, feeling lost and alone, nothing seems familiar, for it's all in the unknown. When the storms roll in, what you gonna do? How you gonna fly? How you gonna push through?
cruising. And now will make us free from everything. Know yourself now that we now know ourselves clearly or not. By getting to know ourselves at a deep level.
All right. Welcome back. I put the names back on the screen. I'm almost done counting. We've got 11-7. Let me see where we're at. Let us see. We are here. All right. So I did that one 11-7-6-3. 11-7-6-3. And we've got 11-7-6-3. We're there right now. Let's go up. We've got World Ho Nation goes for Brenda. 7-8-9. Very good one. We've got another 6. Okay, we're almost at the bottom here. 6. Wait, where? Nelson's a 6. And okay. And we got 9 and 3 and 5. 9 and 3 and 5. All right. I believe we've got a winner. There's another 11. Yes, we're going to give it to number 11. Clearly the winner was number 11. Who was number 11? Caleb? Caleb's going to the event. All right. All right, we're going to... All right. Caleb's speaking at the event. He gets a free ticket. Oh, boy. I didn't even think of... why would I even put him up there? It's just hilarious. Who got second? You guys had me laughing. All right, maybe we'll give away 2 next week. I don't think anybody... Now that you know about it, you can take some time. You can plan it out. 3 minutes or 6 minutes if you're wearing a hat. And I'll be better about the times. I know I let some people go long, and that's kind of not fair. But kind of what you showed me here, everybody was kind of equal. A lot of 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. 11 had the dominating win, but 11 is Caleb, and he's already getting a free ticket. So we will ixnay on the free ticket, and that's not my fault. You guys voted it, not me. But we will do 2 next Thursday. There will be 2 passes given away to the top 2 calls. Okay, so join us next Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, and we will be back with that. All right. Please buy a hat if you want, like this very cool hat. You could actually look as decent as me if you wear this hat. It's kind of magical. No, I'm just kidding. But you can if you want. So do that. Get a hat. Go to shop.jeranism.com. Get a hat or a beanie. And the faster you do, the faster I can stop selling them. You have to never hear it again. I will not make that purchase again. And what else do we have going? Definitely pick up the summit ticket. By the way, if you have to buy your ticket by next Thursday. Oh yeah, I think Austin's going to be joining me next week too. So we'll do that. It'll be fun. We'll give away some passes, and then we're going to also do a drawing. That's right. That's going to be great. Next Thursday should be fun. I think Austin's going to join me for Speaker's Corner, and I think that we are going to give away then 2 tickets to the event, which I kind of like because it means people who could afford it already bought it, and we'll give it. Yeah, that's nice. We'll give away the 2 tickets to the event. Plus, we're going to be doing a raffle. 2 prizes for VIPs, 2 prizes for general admission, and we'll make sure that at least the price pays you back, so you get a free ticket. So it'll be like we're giving away a bunch of tickets next week. So by signing up, and it will be actually a little bit more money. I think we'll do like $100 for the VIPs, so you actually make $25. So anyway, if you want to do that, you do not have to be present to win. You just need to get your ticket purchased before Thursday of next week, and then you'll go into the drawing that we'll do on Thursday. We'll do the drawing. I even found a little... did you ever see this thing exists? I'll show you something I didn't know. I was like, how are we going to draw it? I don't want people to think that I'm cheating or something. But if you... Oops. Let me go back over here. That's not what I want to do. Oh, come on. I'll show you this little thing I found. I think it's here. I love all the things. If you ever want something on the web, you can find something to do whatever you want. Yeah, this one. Random picker. Look at this. Pretty cool. You go... Speaker's Corner. No. This one. There we go. I just never know this stuff even's around. Not that one. I said browser solo. Thank you. That one. So like this here, you just put a bunch of people's names here. That's funny. These are the names I wrote there last time. Wait, no, I didn't. Did I? No. Must have already been there. God, it seems like I put those in there, but would they still be there? Weird. So then see here where it says number of items. So we'll just have everybody's name in there, and we need to pick a winner, and you just go, yeah, we want one. One winner. Go. Pick a random one. Is it Henry, Lorraine, Mary, Cindy, Lorraine, Herendi, Henry, Mary? And the winner is Henry. There you go. So we can't cheat that. We'll do it that way. We'll have everybody's name in there, and we will hit the mixer up, and we will see who wins the prizes if you get your ticket purchased prior to Thursday next week. All right. If you're looking for me, I am available at t.me/Jeranism. As I always tell people, I have folders, and I put people in folders based on what they do. So if somebody just shares something every once in a while with me or asks a question every once in a while, they go into like my immediate folder, meaning I clear those out every day. After somebody has repeatedly sent me nonsense, like they think I have all the time in the world, or they'll send me this like 3-hour video, like just that's it. I'm like, what is this? Watch it, bro. Okay, I don't really have 3 hours to watch this video. But, you know, people like that, I sometimes then put them in the folder, which is I'll get to it eventually. So stay in the good folder. Don't overwhelm me with stuff. It's way better than email. I'm able to actually have conversations with people, point them in the right directions. Once I start, I've got a video here or there. It's easy to you know, put it forward again or to forward to them again. There's lots of different channels you can find me at. You know, if you want to find them all, go to sleek.bio/Jeranism. That's all the links, but there's Jeranism chat. Jeranism show is the notification channel. Jeranism live is another one. The patron groups at patreon.com/Jeranism. So a lot going on. And again, buy a ticket, help us make trueearther.com one of the best home bases for a lot of this material. That's what we're hoping for. And then we'll just continue waking people up. So much love to everybody. I appreciate it. So what is everybody saying? Oh, I need to see here. Wow, Claptrapism. Where are you? This guy is awesome, dude. He just keeps giving away. Now you guys have to, you know, once he gives it to you, you're basically locked in for 6 or 7 years. I forgot what the rule. I'll have to look up the bylaws, but I think it's 7 years. You have to continue paying. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, that's not true. Of course, that's true. You could just enjoy the month, but what it does do is it allows you to watch all the stuff in replay. So I've tended to try and leave it up for at least a day. So today's show will be up the rest of today, and then tomorrow, when I sit down at my desk, the first thing I do is kind of move it to members only. So if you watch live, you probably don't need so much to be a member, but if you want to watch anything in replay, it really helps, and you get to use the cool emoji, and what's cooler than that? I probably have new emojis too available if there's a lot of new signups. So thank you guys. I'm going to go. We are already at a half hour, 40 minutes past the length of the show. One more time, I say hello to everybody here. Let me just check the super chats over at Rokfin before I forget, in case there isn't. I always say that. Oh, sweet. You guys are dope. Let's bring up the tips and check it out. We've got Effie Nation. $10 says, just keep telling the truth, bro. It's flat and stationary. I feel sorry for the lost ones. They don't even know where they live. So sad. It's pretty sad. But it's not really all their fault either, right? We all were fooled. Adam, thank you very much for $50. Very nice of you. Adam, and no message though, huh? You should message me with that. We got Fernandez Lewis, $20 says, call me slow, but when was the deal with the NASA whistleblower? I remember saying someone wrote Bob or Dave saying that it was a hoax, but I looked up the NASA guy. I forgot his name and the timeline matched. I guess I'm just naive, but I was believing it. Yeah, we believed it too, but I do not think it was real. I believe it was admitted to be one of those jokers, like Wolfie or something, wasn't it? Thought it was. Or somebody admitted to fooling Taboo with it to start, if I remember right. So thank you guys very much for those tips. Very kind of you. And the super chats and the, I think I saw a super chat. And then thank you very much, Claptrapism, for being awesome and giving out all those gifts. Can you please thank Brandy for me? And you don't need to tell me that she said you're welcome. Don't. I assume that. All right. Episode 33 is over. I don't think we had anything Masonic in here. I don't think that no hand signals, no nothing. But we should just do the hand signals because screw them. We want RV to hate us and everything. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I think I'm done, right? Am I good? Everything else? So see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the Jeranism show, the flagship show of this very channel. And if you're not watching the Jeranism show, you don't know enough about what life is going on. No, you don't know my opinion. That's all it is. Not trying to tell anybody, oh, I know this or I know that. You don't know these things. I'm just giving you my opinion. Is it different than everybody else's? Yes, that's because it comes from me. That's why it's hilarious when these people ask, well, who's your authority? Who'd you get that from? Nobody. Yeah, but where do you get your beliefs from? Myself. What do you mean? I come up with them in my head. People are like, what? No, I don't think you can do that. But the Jeranism show should be exciting. That is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be on time, because if not, I would be very upset myself. All right. Much love, guys. I think I am good. we're heading out. Do I need to change my outro? Let's change it. I think we've used the same one 2 or 3 times in a row. It's great because I don't have the names. I don't have anything telling me what these are. We're just going to go with which one sounds good. 7/22/22. 8 2622. No. 10/16/21. That sounds long enough ago. All right, guys. Much love to you. We'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. And buy a hat, buy a pass, do all those things. Be good or be good at it. I remind you, do your own research. If you do, you'll never again believe all the bullshit you've been taught. Till next time. Till tomorrow. This has been Jeranism. Much love. Peace.